All right. We're running a little late, but we're here. We are here. And I think you can hear me, right? So, if that's the case, is that the case? I don't know. Is that the case? Well, let's get started.
You can't kill Michael Myers! It's impossible!
This is what happens when you work to change things.
You're being a little bitch! What do you fucking want from me? Get off my dick!
You know, if you don't understand the situation, it's better sometimes not to speak and just be a complete imbecile in the matter.
That's right. That's right, Tony. That's right, isn't it? That's right. Now, I'm going to be...
Fuck you. I think you a bitch.
Whoa!
Understand what I'm saying?
Whoa!
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Is it, Tony? Is it?
What are you
saying? First they think you're crazy, then they fight you.
So...
I don't know. I don't really think that's the case.
We have a video intro coming for this, but in the meantime, we got this guy.
It's not financial advice, not legal advice for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. That being said, hit the like button, subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff, so you get videos, I put them out, so you don't think I'm analyzing that data. Like I tell you every day, the data released us is false. Many gives a false narrative remarks. We can make bad trading decisions. Listen, based on everything I'm reading, Judge Zern.
Whoa. Did you guys notice how short of breath this guy? I had to check and make sure I don't have it playing back quickly. He's short of breath. He's so goddamn excited. What do you do? Just get done jerking off or something? What? I don't know. Why are you so short of breath? Getting up there in years? Maybe he just changed out of his walking shirt into this shirt. You know, he's got this little cute little tank top, padded little tank top thing he wears when he's taking walks. It's in Florida, so Anyway, he's excited though. He's got that blood. You got that heart rate's up.
Has denied the settlement, and she said it had nothing to do with all the theories that retail investors put out. It had nothing to do with the conspiracy theories, with the naked shorting. She said she denied it because, as it's written, it cannot be approved. This must be sending the shorters crazy. It must be sending the bad actors crazy, because now they have nowhere to turn. And for all you yes voters who said that it's...
Oh, here we go. Here we go with the I told you so.
That we would end up going down. Look, she denied the settlement.
Now, wait a minute, Don. Wait a fucking minute here. I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy, yeah, okay, it went up. But what goes up, baby, must come down. And don't confuse the knee-jerk reaction, the algo reaction, the momentum and technical-based reaction. Don't confuse that with a fundamental reaction. That is the message of this broadcast tonight. It is, the stock doubled immediately. I mean, there's a few different angles you can look at this from which you can look at it. You could say, well, when something goes up quickly and irrationally, it didn't really establish itself. So that's one thing. Number two, what goes up must come down. Number three, and more importantly here, most important I think here is, what about the fundamentals here? Because the fundamentals underlying what's happening right now, you're not going to have a lot more 100% up days. Not a lot of, in my opinion, based on the fundamentals, which will prevail ultimately. So when he says, the no voters, you said it would go down and look, it went up and you were wrong. Bullshit. That's what a child would say. That is what a child would say. That is what a child would say. So, just trying to keep up with this chat here. This is a sort of an impromptu thing. I wasn't set up for this tonight, but this is the emergency final nail in the coffin live stream. And by the way, anybody over in Telegram who wants to jump in voice channel, hell, you can open up, you can start the voice chat. You can start the voice chat and go ahead and come in, or I can do it. But I encourage you to. It would be a nice surprise. And I've already lost part of my voice earlier today. So, the more people talking here, now, not saying brain dead things, but, saying brain smart things, the better. So anyway, Donnie is, he's excited. I understand. His blood, pressure is pumping, and he's just excited. What can you say? The stock went, the stock doubled. Great. Well, enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. The fundamentals
AMC
are not there.
started moving up. Imagine what's going to happen.
That's hilarious.
The pre-market on Monday. The bottom line is this: the hedges are screwed. They let their greed take advantage of them, and they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And now they don't have the settlement. They're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, write up something else. Hope we approve it, and the minute they submit the new settlement to the courts, the retail investors who voted no are gonna be submitting their objections again, and this is gonna run for another 6 months to a year. But like I told y'all in a previous video,
is he on fucking drugs or something? Like what? He even sounds like he's whining like a child. Like, I mean, and I'm so pathetic. It's going to run for 6 months, and I'm such a little baby, and I'm going to be rich. How pathetic. Jesus, fuck.
I can diamond hand this all day because y'all forced me to learn the market. Y'all forced me to learn how to trade. You forced me to learn how to make money, even with all the fraud and corruption.
What? They forced you to learn how to make money? Excuse me? What does that mean? No, you don't make money by sticking out a 90% fucking loss. That is not how you make money, Don.
Corruption in the market.
What the fuck?
Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's great that Judge Zern denied the settlement? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.
Oh, those cost to borrow figures. Okay, first of all, I mean, we really have to go over this again. I mean, all right, I'll be nice as, to the best of my abilities. But look, this is very important, okay? This is something that most people here understand. But in the case of people who aren't aware, they haven't heard the news, we'll go over it. And I'll be the first to admit this court decision took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it today. I don't think about AMC really that much outside of these streams. And I certainly wasn't expecting the decision that we got. I wasn't. So in that sense, as far as what I thought would happen, I was wrong. I was absolutely 100% incorrect about what I thought would be decided. Based on the evidence that was available, I think most of us were, thinking that it was leaning a certain way. That's okay. I mean, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. There's nothing wrong with, hey, we thought this. This is why. I want to understand why it's not that, because I have a lot of doubts. But just to put that out there at the outset-ish here, I was wrong about it. I thought, we've talked about it, settlement's going to be approved. We're going to go on with our business and, nothing burger, extra mayo. Well, it may still be a nothing burger, extra mayo, you know. But at least right now, the actual event that happened was unexpected, and it was different than we thought. So, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have anything on the line here, so I can afford to be wrong. In other words, anyway, let's get to this very important point about cost to borrow. Okay. A lot of people use this website, Chart Exchange. There are others, but as far as the free resources go, this one's pretty popular, I guess. So now notice it says interactive brokers here. This is crucial. This is crucial. Do you know how many broker-dealers there are in the United States? I honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. I can try to find out. In a web browser tab here that's hidden from public view. But, oh, I don't know. I mean, I can think of probably a dozen off the top of my head, right? Well, the thing is, well, actually, I mean, it depends on what you consider to be a broker-dealer. Because if we're talking about just firms that are registered as broker-dealers with FINRA, which, by the way, we got a bone to pick with FINRA, too, today. We got a bone to pick with FINRA. We'll get there. But there's like over 3,000 registered broker-dealers in the United States. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, Goldblatt and Goldblatt Securities, you know, or whatever. Just totally random fake name I just made up. We're not talking about Goldblatt Securities. We're not talking about Madoff Securities. We're not talking about, you know, any of that stuff. I'm talking about the large institutional retail broker-dealer firms that retail investors would use. Okay, there's at least a dozen or more. Interactive brokers is one of those. So the way that borrowing works, it's all done by the broker-dealer. It's all done by the broker-dealer. If I want to sell something short, all I do is open up my Interactive Brokers platform, make sure that I have the margin that's required to do it, and hit sell. Sell to open. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm telling my broker that I want to sell shares. You guys go find them. It's not my problem. It's your problem. And it is their problem. It is the broker's problem. It's not the trader. The trader does not locate the shares. I don't think a lot of apes know that. There's a lot they don't know. But that's why we're trying to help here. One reason. So I hit sell to open 100 shares. Okay. Now, what has to happen next is the broker dealer has to locate shares that can be borrowed. They have to locate shares that can be borrowed. Okay. Now, just because they can be borrowed, that doesn't mean that they can be delivered in time. Okay, you dig what I'm saying? Just because you can buy this particular graphics card, it's for sale. It is available for sale on Amazon. Yeah, you can buy it. You can give Amazon your money. Just like you can give the market your money, or in the case of short selling, I mean, the market can give you its money, essentially, with a lot of strings attached at first. But you can enter into that transaction, but that doesn't mean that that graphics card will be delivered when Amazon said it would be delivered. They said it would be delivered in 2 days. It might take 3 to 5. Okay? That's where failed to deliver comes in. So when people talk about covering fails to deliver, that's not a short position. It's not covered, quote unquote, the way a short position is, quote unquote, covered, because a failure to deliver is just that, is a failure to deliver, not a failure to purchase. The purchase has already happened, or the sale has already happened. And in fact, it's both. A sale and a purchase have have already happened. And now we're waiting for Amazon to deliver the graphics card. Okay? So, why would, I mean, okay, now here's the thing. Amazon might, they might have to go out and buy more graphics cards. They might have to do that. Or they might have already purchased them and they might be waiting to get them from their supplier, right? So that's another option. These are all analogous to what happens in the market. There's a million, I mean, not literally, but there are dozens of situations, very idiosyncratic situations where, okay, this person bought this on this day, and then, you know, various things, market things happened with those shares or that trader or, you know, the broker. So there's a lot of unique situations. I don't think people appreciate that either. How many unique scenarios there really can be. There can be a lot. But in any case, we're waiting on them to be delivered. Now, here's the thing. Even though I haven't received them yet, I can actually go ahead and sell them. Think about that. I paid money to get these shares. I haven't received them yet, but the broker says that I have them. It shows in my account, right? You open up your brokerage account. It says that you have 100 shares or that you're short 100 shares or whatever it is. For all intents and purposes, you already have the shares. Not really, but they're reflected in your account. And you can trade them. So what do you think happens if you buy 100 shares and you know, let's say you buy 100 shares yesterday, Thursday, and then Friday rolls around, you know, and of course nobody knew that, you know, the court decision was going to come through today. So, you know, you changed your mind, you got cold feet and you said, you know what? No, I don't have time for this. I don't want this risk. I'm just going to sell. Well, you bought yesterday. How long does it take for trades to settle? 2 days. Trade hasn't settled yet. But the broker's not going to stop you from selling your shares. So what happens? Welcome to the creation of an FTD. Now, does anybody need to go out and buy it? The shares exist. We know they exist. They're going to be in my account tomorrow. But I'm already interested in getting rid of them. Nobody needs to buy shares. We just need to wait. We just need to let the system work. So FTDs are not shorts. They don't get covered necessarily. And there's dozens of situations that can give rise to a failure to deliver. I mean, the apes are very cynical about that. They read the SEC website and it says, well, it can happen from a long or short sale. But we all know it's naked shorts. No, you don't know that, actually. And it's not all naked short selling. In fact, anything that I would go so far as to say anything that actually is naked short selling was never intended, number one, was never intended to be naked short selling, and two, did not start as a naked short sale. I don't have time to get into that right now. We've talked about it before. Other people have talked about it before. There's more to it. If you think that these apes came in within 6 months and understood failed to delivers and all these inane details of the market to a high degree of accuracy, that is a failure to deliver logic, okay? That's not the case. That is not the case. It's been a learning process and experience for all of us, but the difference is you can't have a bias. If you have a bias, like a bullish bias, for example, if you have a bullish bias, of course it's going to be FTDs, or every FTD is going to be a naked short sale. And I'm running on one monitor tonight, okay? So I don't have the chat window open. And so I'm sorry that I'm not keeping up with the chat, but that's where you guys over in Telegram need to open the voice chat and come in and, you know, tell me, hey, Scott, this guy's going crazy in the chat. You need to pay attention to him or whatever. I just made that up. Anyway, so FTDs are nothing burger. They don't correlate. They just don't correlate. They don't correlate to anything that's meaningful. when the run-up happened in 2021, June, the FTD thing was not really a thing. Oh, yeah, the chart, you know, showed larger bars, but that's not why what happened happened. That's very clear. Okay, back to Interactive Brokers. So I open up my Interactive Brokers and I establish this short position, and now it's on them to go find it and borrow it because they're the ones who deal with the DTCC. They're the ones who interact with the continuous net settlement system. They're the ones who actually do the trade. Let's be honest here. They're the ones who actually do the trade. They're the ones that interact with the market, the counterparty, not us. So we just instruct them what to do, and then they go find them, hopefully. Now, if they can't find them, they're supposed to cancel the trade. Now, what incentive does a broker-dealer have to cancel a trade? They don't want to get caught, you know, not borrowing shares, not locating shares. You know, I don't know. You see plenty of broker-dealers getting slammed for naked short selling over the years. But it's always broker-dealers. It's broker-dealers because they're the ones who actually do the shit. They're the ones responsible for borrowing it. So on Interactive Brokers, this is the cost to borrow fee. On Interactive Brokers, why is that important? Because each broker-dealer maintains their own inventory of loanable shares. And essentially, it is all the shares held by investors in their brokerage account with Interactive Brokers that are in a margin account that are not already lent out. And actually, that doesn't really matter. They can be lent out multiple times, daisy-chained, but the difference is they would be coming from a different account. They wouldn't be coming from your account. They already left your account and gone to somebody else. So when people say, you know, that the cost to borrow is 1,000%, no, it's not. It most certainly is not 1,000%. You see what I'm saying? With a static statement like that, the cost to borrow is 1,000%. It's not 1,000%. At one point in time, and we're only looking at like, what, 4 hours worth of time here today. So the cost to borrow, well, let's read what they have here. Data from Interactive Brokers, IBKR, publishes an updated file every 15 minutes. If there's no update, there aren't any shares available. So are we to assume then that, let's see, at 8:30, the one that would be sandwiched in between these two, there were no shares available? Because it says at 8:15 there were 50,000 available. And then at 8:45 there were 20,000 available, but there's no update at 20:30 or 8:30. So did they literally all go away? And then 20,000 of them came back? I don't know. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. If you think it matters at this point, you're on the wrong channel. Because we know, we've shown, you know, we've shown it doesn't matter. It does not matter. A stock loan fee is a fee charged by a brokerage firm to a client for borrowing shares. Okay, sure. So stock loan fee is a fee charged by the brokerage firm to a client for borrowing shares. And then the loan rebate, you know, is basically, you know, what's received by the lender. So typically they're pretty close together, and then the broker-dealer takes the difference there. Okay. All right. Now, the other resource that everybody uses is Stonko Tracker. Oh, Stonko Tracker. Oh. Okay. Where the hell is it? So now they use the same data, Interactive Brokers. There's a reason that all these sites use Interactive Brokers. It's one of the few that publish their lending inventory for free. By the way, look at this. Look at this. Calls out of the money on today's expiration. 518,000. Now, if I were somebody like Zero Data or, Stocks and Crypto Creep or, just any of these clowns, you would probably gravitate towards the puts, and you'd say, look at all these puts that were out of the money. Oh, my God, all that money they lost. Oh. But I'm going to do it to the fucking calls because it's time for these motherfuckers to be called out. Oh, it's been time, past time. 518, 500,000 call option contracts expired out of the money. It says it was updated at 4:31 and 2 seconds. Although it does say that that's -4, which I don't believe is the correct time zone because we're in daylight now. But anyway, like 375,000 puts in the money. Like the number of calls or puts that in the money or out of the money really doesn't matter that much. It does not matter that much. Any hedging has already taken place, and it's taken place automatically. So, but I just thought that was interesting. I mean, why are so many out of money calls? What are they? Like $10? I think they are. I think they're mostly $10 calls. This is a monthly expiration, so you got probably a larger expanded list of strike prices. So that's probably, accounting for a lot of those out of the money. It's probably some super high $20 call options in there or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Let's go to the more info, though, for borrowed shares. Overview of borrowed shares availability, ETF, whatever. Okay. Look, I already highlighted it. Available shares to borrow. The available shares to borrow is an amount provided by Interactive Brokers. It only displays the amount of shares that can be borrowed from them. It only displays the amount of shares that can be borrowed from them. It's not the total amount of shares available to borrow, but gives a good indication of what's happening. Okay, sure. But how many apes use fucking Interactive Brokers? You never hear apes talking about Interactive Brokers. You just don't. Not saying that none of them do. It's just not as popular as Webull. And for good reason. And why would you go with Interactive Brokers when you can go with a Chinese copy? Anyway, Chinesium. So, available shares to borrow is Interactive Brokers data only. I probably could have said this in 2 minutes, but the fee, now they didn't specifically say this, but I'm going to say it because it's true. The fee is also, that's Interactive Brokers' fee. That's what they charge based on what they have available. I saw Badback mention supply and demand. How do you think these fees are set? So, this is the highest fee that would have been charged. Not all the shares are lent at that rate. We don't know how many were lent at any rate over another. So hyping 1,000% is kind of silly and ignorant because you don't know how many shares. Could have been one share lent at 1,000%. Literally, could have been one share lent at 1,000%. We don't know that. We don't know. So don't assume. Assume that 0 shares were lent at 991. That's a better assumption to make. That leaves options open. You got to have options open. You can't pigeonhole yourself into, 1,000% cost to borrow means I'm going to be rich. No, it doesn't. If it were that easy, every pauper would be a king. But they're not, because it's not that easy. And it takes longer than 2 years, apes, to become a consistently profitable trader. And it requires trading more than one ticker. It just does. So, I don't care about cost to borrow. Sorry. It doesn't matter. Now, let's get back to this. I got to, praise Jesus. Settlement denied. Oh my God. Praise Jesus. Praise fucking Jesus. Look, all these grifters coming out of the woodwork. Ricky Gutierrez. When's the last time this hunk talked about AMC? What a heartthrob. Except he's brain dead when it comes to AMC. Here's another one. The misinformed idiot. The masked whatever. AMC stock, does this mean a short cover Monday? Yes, it does, because you figured it out. It's obvious. It must be right. Phil for real. Mooning. Boy, you know, how many times have we seen this kind of shit happen? This is great. These writers, the writers of this season of the AMC debacle, grift, scam, this season's writers are fantastic. They're really killing it. They're really killing it. AMC just exploded. Well, thank you, Stock J. I bet you have some good predictions, too. Here, let's go with Frankie Jihad Mohammed.
He said, I'm not a
So this is a financial jihadist.
He said, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say in this video is my opinion, may not necessarily be factual. Don't buy, sell, or hold a stock because of anything I say in this video. Look, I'm just an entertainer on YouTube. Check this out, man. I'm happy. So if you don't know by now, you know, no voters came on top as far as the lawsuit is concerned. We came out on top. And in essence, man, the judge, among a lot of the things she said that Adam Aaron, in essence, man, they use APE as a weapon, and they breached their fiduciary responsibilities that they had to the shareholders, which is what we've been saying the whole time. The whole time, man, the no voters been saying what Adam Aaron and what Antares Capital did, man, it was wrong.
At least he's not being a total dick yet. I mean, it may happen. But he's wearing a motocross shirt, so I don't know what that means. Model 3 dude said that the buyer and seller are not necessarily matched at the time of transaction. And that's true because here's how it works, okay? From what we understand, okay? In fact, we could actually say, I feel confident in even going this far with it. Buyers and sellers are not matched. Ooh, that's contrary to what everybody says. But buyers and sellers are not really matched. What do I mean by that? Okay. When you hold shares in a brokerage account, in the street name, and the broker, they're in the name of the broker. They're really owned by the broker, and they're just letting you kind of use them. They're letting you reap the benefits economically, if there are any, from a contractual conference of ownership rights. I mean, that's what it is. You don't own the shares, actually. But it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You get the ownership rights. You get all the benefits of ownership. But the shares are really held in the name of the broker-dealer. So at the DTCC, you don't have millions of accounts of individual retail investors. No. I don't have you don't. We all don't have accounts at the DTCC. Our broker has an account at the DTCC. Okay? Our broker dealer has an account there. They're members of the DTCC and the National Securities Clearing Corporation, NSCC. Okay? So let's say throughout the course of the day, we have I'm just talking about our brokerage now, one brokerage. Throughout the day, a total of 20,000 AMC shares were purchased by our customers. Okay? 20,000. And also throughout the day, 20,000 shares of AMC were disposed of or sold by our customers. So, question, what ultimately happens here? So, there aren't all these individual accounts at the DTCC. There's one for our brokerage. So, this is the net part of continuous net settlement. Those 20,000 shares that were purchased and those 20,000 shares that were sold by our customers, they get summed together. So guess what? What's 20,000 minus 20,000? That's a no net change. That's what gets reported. So, you know, as far as whose shares you buy, you know, whatever else, it doesn't, you don't, there is no way to know that. It does not matter. Actually, you'd be asking which brokerage did they come from, or did they come from my own brokerage? And that does not happen at the time of transaction. We're talking about settlement here. We're talking about settlement. Settlement happens at T+2. Like this process that we just described, the netting of each broker-dealer's aggregate positions and submittal to the DTCC, which then nets the whole thing and says, okay, this broker, you guys need to get 10,000 shares because you had an imbalance of plus 10,000 shares. You need 10,000 shares to give to those customers that bought them. And this brokerage over here, you're short these because da-da-da-da, okay? That's when that happens. But the trade has already taken place as far as you interacting with the market. But the settlement doesn't happen for 2 days later, and you can see why. There has to be some time, you know, for this all to be compiled and submitted and processed and distributed and all that. So your trades aren't matched with another trader in that sense. Your broker-dealer's aggregate position is netted against the aggregate positions of the other broker-dealers. It's a little bit complicated, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. We play like you own the shares, and that, yeah, I traded with somebody in the market. If we're going to be honest about it, it was probably a computer that interacted with that entity and you know, where those quote-unquote shares, quote-unquote, came from. But it's all electronic, okay? So he's right. Model 3 dude's right. That does not happen at the time of trade. Doesn't happen at the time of the trade. But what does happen at the time of the trade is money, you know, you are entering a contract that says, I will buy these shares, and you're probably going to go ahead and give the money at that point. I don't know any broker-dealers that give you 2 days to pay, like a buy now, pay later thing. And so, you know, you have laid out the capital for that money, for those shares. So the price has already been affected by it. The price is affected at the time of the transaction because we're dealing with the order book, which is a list of all of the shares that are available to buy and sell at different prices. Total, aggregate, all broker-dealers, or at least in that exchange. So FTDs are highly misunderstood. Net settlement is misunderstood. And it's not like you are trading with somebody who is trading at the exact same time and you get matched together. It's a net action that happens later. And yeah, you know, there is variation, there is variance in what people are paying and buying and selling for. Those, you know, that's a reason why. That's one of the reasons that there's a spread. You know, there's that little padding on either side. And it is a little bit complicated, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I say that, you know, not cynically or sarcastically. It doesn't matter. All that matters, here's something the apes could take and, you know, learn from, maybe. The only thing that matters is, were you able to execute the trade at the price that you wished to execute the trade at? Whatever the price is, you know, and hopefully if it's a buy, trade, it's a lower price, and if it's a sell trade, it's a higher price for a long position, or vice versa for a short position. But that's really it. That's the main thing, because, I mean, you know, I don't know if you've heard the news, but the point of being in these markets is to make money, not to try to catch, you know, them in some kind of nefarious move, or to force them to cover, or any of this other stuff. None of that matters. And I'm telling you, the apes focused on all of this other bullshit. Number one, because they didn't know the market. Number two, because they didn't know how to trade. Number three, because they listened to brain deads like Trey and Matt Coles. You know, number four, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to let your bias shine through. You know, if you're sitting there bitching about how, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and this market's unfair and da-da-da-da. Well, it might be, but none of that's going to change the fact that you're down 90%. None of that's going to change the fact that, you know, maybe there's a point where you should have sold and taken a profit. Can't do that now. So, you know, I don't know where to go from here, but let's just go.
Oh, man, I got to give a special shout out, man, to Al from Boston.
Oh, God.
Wall Street, the Marine.
Why?
George, Stocks and Crypto Play for Tackles #1 Son, Common Sense Investors.
Scotty Allen.
And all the no voters, man, that stay steadfast.
Oh,
in,
all
man.
the no voters.
Much love for all y'all, man. We put that work in and we came out on top. It paid off. And see, look, man, we, the no voters, I got to keep it 100 with you. We beat Adam Aaron. We beat Wall Street. We beat the 1%ers, and we beat the Adam Aaron zealots. We beat the people, man, that was pushing Adam Aaron policies. Although, man, in my opinion, we knew they was wrong, and they knew it was wrong. But see, we came out on top because we told the truth, and we were strict, and we were striving to do the right thing. And for 3.5.
See, I mean, here's the problem with all this rhetorical garbage that these apes bloviate on all the time. And it's related to there's a lot of related concepts here. Okay, this is absolutely at least a master's thesis of information. Not that I'm going to give right now, but in terms of complexity and interest, and, you know, I would say relevancy too. The question just is it psychology? Is it sociology? Is this finance? I don't know. It's an interdisciplinary, you know, melding of all of those things, I think. But, you know, the notion that okay, I'll start out with one of the early ones. There's no more shares available. No, not to short. There's no shares available to buy. Heard that one before? Right. Okay, also, there's no shares available to borrow. There's no shares available to short. Okay. Or what he just said, we have won. We won. Let's do a victory lap around the Walmart parking lot. We won. Okay. But isn't there more trading that happens Monday? In order for this to actually be a win, you'd have to close your position and take the loss, which it wouldn't be a win then. So you didn't win anything because you're not closing your trade. You're leaving it open. You think that it's going to continue going in that direction. Unless it's AI related at this point, nothing continues to go in the same direction forever. Especially low quality stocks for low quality companies dominated by low quality investors. I mean, it's just not reality. So, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you know, this is a continuous thing. Like, the market will go on. You can't ever rest on your laurels. You can't ever say, well, I did it. I won. I arrived. I whatever. because there's going to be another trading day tomorrow where a whole bunch of other shit's going to happen. A whole bunch of other news might come out between now and then. And here you are, you know, do-si-doing around the fucking parking lot like you just won the world. Meanwhile, most people realize that, okay, yeah, enjoy this fleeting moment because it ain't going to stay the same. Nothing does. That's a fact. So, this is all premature. It's all part of the same brain dead pumping that these guys have been doing for 2 years. Not too much to see, but, you know, we're going to see it anyway, I guess.
Man, we had to sit up here, you know.
You didn't have to do shit. Okay? You didn't have to. You chose to. You chose to. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do anything.
And listen to yes voters. Try to manipulate.
I mean, you didn't have to sit there, and you certainly didn't have to listen to them. I mean, imagine if people had to listen to me. Okay, new rule. Oh, I feel like Bill Maher. Good Lord. New rule, okay? If you want to stay in AMC stock, you can. Fine, go for it. But you got to go to Scott's channel, and you have to listen to one of his live streams. If you don't do that, we're liquidating your shares because you need to hear another viewpoint. How would that go over? How well would that go over? I'll tell you what. People would probably lose less money if they didn't completely tune out. All right, I'm going to shut up.
The community, man, and lie to the community and put something on the community that they knew it wasn't right for the community, but they was trying to make money off the APE arbitrage play. So they went along with Adam Aaron, they went along with Wall Street, and they went along with the 1%ers, in my opinion. And no matter, man, how we tried to reason with Phil, you know, and the yes voters, no matter how much we tried to reason with them, tried to get them to really see what's going on, to see, you know, what Adam Aaron was really doing. They didn't want to hear it, man. They wouldn't listen because they were so wrapped up in trying to make money, you know, off the APE arbitrage play. In my opinion, they didn't want to listen. But see, the judge, in my opinion, man, she stopped Adam Aaron and his business partner, and Terry Capital, and the 1%ers from screwing over 3.8 million retail investors. She stopped them, man, from screwing us over. You see what I'm saying?
What?
And see, the thing
oh my
is,
God.
I said after listening to her, I said that Vice Chancellor Zern, man, I said to me, she seemed like a woman, an intelligent.
Oh, here we go.
A woman, man.
You should have gone for that fucking law degree, Frankie, because you got the right fucking stuff. Let me tell you. Jesus Christ. I mean, he has that. Yeah, they don't have a fundamental understanding of the market at all. They're in some fairy tale good versus evil battle in their minds. Yes. Capitalism has no room for morals in it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, it's... And he's sitting there saying, and I had a part of a oatmeal cream pie in my mouth at the time, so I couldn't really jump in and say, what the fuck? But what the fuck? He sat there and said they were too worried about making money off the arbitrage play. I mean, come on. Like, they were too worried. They were too preoccupied with making money. Oh my God. How fucking dare anybody in the market be preoccupied with making money? Now, if you guys were occupied, I mean, not even preoccupied, not even occupied. If you guys understood that that was the point of being in the market, and you understood that you don't make all of your wealth at once, and you guys understood that you have to learn by failing and screwing up and admitting it. If you guys learn, if you guys, you know, realize this shit, you would realize how ridiculous of a statement it is to say, oh, they were too worried about making money. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to not worry, but you're supposed to make a profit. whether that's by shorting something, going long on something, doing anything. Whatever, it doesn't matter. There are no morals. Bad Bag just told us there's no room for morals. Short selling is just as valid as buying long positions. It is, in the market's eyes, it is not that different. So, I mean, how dare anybody be so preoccupied with making money? It's ridiculous. No, I mean, what's ridiculous is that this guy, that he would say something like that. I mean, come on, right? Can you not see how ridiculous this shit is? I mean, all right.
That was professional and a woman, man, of integrity. And I really didn't feel like, man, she was going to let Adam Aaron, Allegheny, and the rest of the 1%ers come in her courtroom and make a fool out of her. You know, because in my opinion, they wanted to go in her courtroom and get her to sanction a business decision that, in my opinion, man, it wasn't morally right. It wasn't.
There he goes with this fucking morals again. Dude, you are a fucking financial terrorist. What do you know about morals? And you know, also, I mean, there's also this.
Man, fuck you. I think you a bitch. You understand what I'm saying?
Now, according to my morals, that's A-OK. That is A-OK. And I go even farther than that. I do. But, you know, this is not a morality stream. So, I mean, I got to hear what he said again.
In her courtroom and make a fool out of her. You know, because in my opinion, they wanted to go in her courtroom and get her to sanction a business decision that, in my opinion, man, it wasn't morally right, it wasn't ethically right, and it wasn't legal. You see what I'm...
That's funny because, you know, and I pointed this out many times, but it's funny that they say it's illegal and it's immoral and all this stuff, but particularly the illegal part. Because you know what AMC has to do? What you corporations have to do? Before any of this stuff actually happened, they submitted fucking paperwork. They submitted filings laying out all of this to not only the SEC, our fucking brain-dead friends in a coma at the SEC, also to the Delaware courts, the very entity that now is saying, oh, you can't do that. They knew about it before it happened. So why didn't they stop it then? I don't know. Now, so here's where it gets interesting, because was it because of the apes? Was it because of their brain-dead pandering to the judge? All those letters, all the letters. You got 3,000 letters. Somehow that represents 3.8 million shareholders. Okay, whatever. No evidence of 3.8 million shareholders, by the way. None. There's evidence for 3,000 letters, but not for 4 million shareholders. Okay, but now it gets interesting to me, because it's like, okay, well, what is the actual point then of these corporations submitting filings if the regulators aren't even going to look at them or consider them, or if it's just going to be like, okay, some people are going to raise a fit about it a couple years later, and then the court's going to come in and reverse it, or, you know, rule something different. What's the point of even filing it? Did anybody read it? Was it legal then and now it's not? I don't get it. That's concerning to me. It would be concerning to me if I thought that any of this shit had any validity or actually meant anything. It doesn't. This is all made up. I mean, you have to know that, right? This is all made up nonsense. And I'm talking about the whole market. This, and not just this market. I'm talking about secondary markets in general. They're kind of irrelevant in the scheme of things. To the corporation, they don't actually get any money from all this trading. Doesn't help them at all. They need to issue new shares. They need to issue new fucking shares. And that's what this lawsuit has prevented AMC from doing for the last 2 months. And who knows in the future? Who knows? So here's what I'm saying. AMC had a plan, whether it was a smart, good plan or not, I don't care right now. It was a plan. The plan to raise money by doing this reverse split conversion. Okay. They submitted the documentation to the relevant regulators and were permitted to continue forward with that plan. Now, a shareholder group who owns less than, what was it? I don't know, 800 shares? I forget how many they had. Less than 1,000. Less than 1,000 shareholder group of shareholders, pension fund, has a problem with something or other. So it goes to court. Tied up in court for 2 months, during which time the stock bleeds out. And everybody's excited about this? Really, everybody's excited about this. I mean, this is a joke, right? Like, this is a joke. This is a fucking joke. This is what we're excited about right now. Okay. Well, actually, I got to go to 4-hour charts so we can get that moving there. That's what we're excited about. Look at that. You came right up to the bottom of the overhead supply zone and nothing. We'll see. But my thing is, okay, AMC had a plan, and they were depending on this plan in order to be able to raise money because they say that the apes are not going to allow them to dilute the main stock. Okay, fine, whatever. Now, it just doesn't make any sense to me. What's the point of these regulators? What's the point of submitting the shit if nobody's going to read it or think about it and see, well, you know what? That might not be legal. That might not be whatever. Now, I don't think that's what the judge was saying. Is that what she was saying? Is that what, I mean, is that what is she saying? Huh? I mean, really, what is she saying? I haven't looked at the document yet. I'm going to look at that here in a few minutes, but Frankie, dude, it's not a moral fight. It's not an ethical fight. It's not even a legal fight. It is a money fight, and you lost. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the opinion is here. Like, this is what we're excited about. Okay. All right.
What I'm saying? And they wanted her, man, to come in the courtroom, and approve it. And I felt like the whole time, man, she wasn't going to let them come in her courtroom, and make a fool out of her. And here's the thing.
Fool?
The yes voters, man, they really owe the no voters. The yes voters, they owe the no voters an apology.
Okay, that's where I turn this fucking clown off. Fuck you. Fuck you, Frankie fucking Muhammad. You fucking piece of shit. Nobody owes you a fucking apology, you fucking vermin. Okay? Wow. The no voters, the yes voters owe the no voters an apology. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Brain dead fucking retard. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's where I draw the line. That is some fucking entitled, narcissistic, fucking dumb fuckery. Fake ass fucking Muslim. All right. Wow. Here we go. Our favorite.
Hey friends, welcome.
Registered sex.
Stocks and crypto plays. I want to talk to you real quick about the
God
APES
fucking damn it. I hate these motherfuckers.
I thought of this today. Okay, so reverse split. For clarity, what really is it, okay? The reverse split for clarity.
Tony.
It's a theft.
Tony, Amen, brother. Amen. Morals cannot prove facts. Period. Yes. And I'll go a step further. Feelings are not facts. Okay? Morals are not facts. They're barely opinions. It might, like, we're not in church. Okay? And the rainbow, I'm sorry, stock and crypto creep. I'm sorry to have to break this to you, but rainbow has nothing. It's because the dude likes another dude, okay? It's because they like the pee-pee. Has nothing to do with God, okay? So get over it, grow up, grow a pair, leave the kids alone, and realize, there are gay people, there are other people, and they're not all Bible thumpers. And a lot of them are also not broke. Huh. That's interesting. But it's because they like it a pee-pee, okay? Just want to put that out there. Sorry. It's vulgar. This channel is probably going to get shut down. I don't think I have a third channel in me. I don't think I have a third shot. So this is it. Well, besides ALKEN, which, ALKEN is ALKEN. Okay. Oh, God.
I thought of this today. Okay, so
I'm going to let him go.
For clarity, what really is it, okay? The reverse split for clarity, obviously it's a theft campaign, right? But as AMC shareholders, we've always said we're going to diamond hand. We're not going to sell our shares. We're not selling until we hit X, Y, or Z, right?
That is the stupidest fucking thing that anybody could ever say with respect to a stock. It just is. Like, that's retarded. You're talking about a fucking $7 stock now. It was sub $10 yesterday. It's sub $10 today. I don't care. It's sub $10. But you're not selling it until it hits $10,000 a share or whatever. That is literally the stupidest thing anybody could say in this situation right here. Like, do you know how ridiculous that is? Maybe he does and he doesn't care. I'll go a step further. I don't know if I can go that far. Shit. You're a simulated investor. You're not an investor. You are a simulated investor. In fact, you're a simulated gambler. You're not even a real gambler. You're a simulated gambler. Because you don't even know what you are doing. You have no clue what you are doing. You are a guppy swimming in the ocean. You have absolutely zero sense of anything. Okay? Like, so it does not behoove anyone to call you an investor. It actually doesn't even behoove anybody to call you a simulated gambler. But I mean, this. We'll talk more about simulation ideas later in another stream or something. But they have created this fantasy world where they are simulating the process of getting rich. It's actually pathological. It is actually delusional. Yeah. Oh, wow. God
Many of us said, I'm not selling until we get paid 100 per share, 200 per share, 1,000 per share.
Good.
10,000 per share, right?
There it is, 10,000.
Diamond-handed and
I knew it.
The shares, technically, the stock could short squeeze that high. Technically, it could. But
I mean, can you demonstrate that? Can you show us how that's possible? I don't think you can. I don't think you could. Get a whiteboard, draw it out, show us how it's possible to get to 10,000 fucking dollars per share. Show us. You can't do it, can you? You can't do it. Just go buy another pair of glasses instead. Fucking distractionary bullshit. My
With
God.
the reverse split, it changes things. And here's what I want everyone to think about.
Changes things.
The
It's
reverse
different this
split
time, right?
It was voluntary, okay? So Adam Aaron said, we need to do a reverse split because we don't like our stock being around $5. You know, we're such a distinguished company. We should be much higher. That was such a pathetic excuse he gave to why he wants to do a reverse split. Has anyone really...
That's not what he said, you fucktard. Okay? Gloves coming off on this clown. You need to go back to the fucking adult daycare, okay? Like, fucking for real. This guy is a fucking bona fide, brain-dead retard. That's not what he said. In fact, he said, you're going to get delisted. If we don't do this reverse split merger, the stock is at risk of being delisted. And guess what? Despite what people think, stocks don't go to the OTC market to MOAS. They don't. They don't. So you better hope that they figure out something to stave off the ultimate eventuality of this fucking stock getting delisted. Reverse split is an easy-ass way to do that. It's an easy way to do it. Makes it more attractive to people who value, you know, something other than a penny stock. There are reasons why it works, and it can be ultimately, you know, beneficial. But mainly it's the delisting thing. But he didn't mention that, did he? No. He said, oh, we're a distinguished company. We need the stock price to be higher. Motherfucker, you're one sitting there talking about $10,000 fucking dollars. What the fuck? What a child. What a child.
Really question Adam Aaron as to why we're doing a reverse split? Did you know, according to the NYSE and NASDAQ rules, you don't have to do a reverse split unless you've been under $1 for 3 to 6 months. Now, even then, let's say you were under $1 for 6 months, you can file for an extension.
Thanks, Lurker.
You for
Death before debit.
6 months without having to do a reverse
Thanks
split.
for chiming in.
Potentially have
You
at
should
least
do that more often.
Under $1 without having to do a reverse split. Now, Adam Aaron put out the idea of the reverse split when we were at over $5 a share. We were nowhere near $1, and we've never been anywhere near $1, and not in any danger whatsoever of going below $1.
Oh, really?
Ever. So what's it all about? It's a
really?
Campaign, right? But here's what I want to say.
Can you explain that? How is it a theft campaign? How is it a theft campaign? What is being stolen? 90% of our shares? What's a share? Shares are irrelevant. Is your equity changing? Did your equity change? If you were to sell all of the shares, I don't care how many there are, if you were to sell them all before reverse split and after a reverse split, would you get the same amount of money? Or would you get a different amount of money? Because the answer is you'd get the same amount of money. That's not fucking theft, is it? That is not fucking theft. It's theft of common sense. It's theft of basic, it's not even logic. Basic reasoning. It's not even critical thinking. Basic thinking. Basic thinking. Oh my God. I'm just like, wow. I gotta stop.
A forced sale. I want you to think of it
a forced sale. Oh, okay.
A forced sale. And I apologize for my green screen behind me. It keeps fading in and out. I do apologize for that. I don't have the best lighting right now. So
you don't have the best anything right now.
It's a forced sale. So what does that mean? Let's say you have a house and you love your house. You raised your family there.
Oh, this is going to be a great analogy. I can tell right now.
So many great memories, and it's gone up in value a little bit. And a company comes in and says, we're going to buy your house. And you say, oh, no, it's not for sale. I have too many memories here. I raised my family here. I raised my kids here. I love my house. I love this neighborhood. And they said to you, no, we're going to buy your house. you don't have a choice. And this is what we're going to pay you. So you're not losing anything. We're paying market value. We'll have an appraisal done and we'll pay you market value. We won't let you lose money on it. Would you be happy about that? Would you accept that? Would it be okay?
What a fucking stupid analogy. I mean, he's trying to talk about the idea of eminent domain. Eminent domain, where, a government, a local government, a state, county, township can for the purpose of some kind of large project, like a roadway, highway, railway lines, mostly for things like that, public utility easements, for the greater good, quote unquote, they can take, quote unquote, take your property. I mean, they don't take it, they compensate you for it. And it's not like you're the only one. And at the end of the day, there's a highway that's being built that's going to benefit everybody, theoretically. Now, I'm not going to get into redlining. I'm not going to get into the fact that these, urban highways, took out entire neighborhoods, which I'm not going to comment on that either, because around here, at least, those neighborhoods being taken out probably had mixed effects, but ultimately were bad because they created not segregated in that sense, but they fragmented communities and made things more difficult for, even for like police and fire response and things like that. Okay, so there's a lot of considerations beyond the price or the fact that it was eminent domain or whatever. A lot of this stuff happened previously. It happens now, but it doesn't happen that much, really. What would more likely be to happen would be a developer wants to create something. They want to build a building, a tower, whatever, a mall, and they go around to all of the people in the area and they say, okay, this is what we want to do. We're willing to offer you this. Of course, we can't force you to sell it to us, but we can try to sweeten the deal as much as possible. That's a private developer wants to do something, and they're they can come to you and offer you a deal that you an offer you can't. They'll make an offer that you can't refuse. In the sense that it's gonna if you say no, I won't do it for that amount of money, then they'll offer you more. And if you continue to say no, they're going to keep offering you more, a little bit more, and then eventually it's going to hit a point where they're say, okay, we get it, you won't sell. And you see this, that you see these big big elaborate structures, complicated, malls or developments of apartments and whatever else, and then you'll see this tiny little house right in the middle of it. The one holdout, the one guy, the old guy who wouldn't sell, the one old lady, stubborn old lady, she's lived there for 80 years. She's going to keep living there until the day she dies, and I say more power to her. That is her right. It's her property. She doesn't have to sell it to you. Who are you anyway? Some city slicker coming in here, exploiting this land that I was on here. I lived in this house. There was no other houses around here. I was the first house out here. And I'll be the last house out here. And I dig that. I respect that. More power to them. People need to stand up to these types of things. But it's not forced. They're not forcing you to. It's not forced. And it's not the same as a stock. So terrible fucking analogy, as always.
Okay.
But he's talking about eminent domain. He doesn't even know what it's called.
How would you feel about that person or company that forced you to sell your house that you love?
They can't
and that
force
you had
you.
plans for and you raised your family at? Now, I know this is only stock, it's AMC stock, right? But you invested your money.
Invested.
Those are your shares.
That is a loose interpretation of that word.
When you bought them, that you'd be able to hold them and diamond hand them, hold them to 100 per share or 1,000 or 10,000 per share, right?
An unrealistic idea. You had a delusion. You had a fantasy. You had a false belief. That's what you had. You had a false belief. You had a dream in your head and a prayer in your heart. That's about it. Don't count for much.
But then Adam Aaron, who was installed by Citadel,
oh my God,
for his criminal friends that did naked short selling, which is illegal, right? He needs your shares.
What?
And guess what? What did we say on social media?
That doesn't even make fucking sense. He needs your shares. Dude, douchebag. What the fuck are you talking about? I can't stand to look at this ugly motherfucker and listen to his brain dead words. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. It's just too stupid. It is too fucking stupid. This guy is fucking retarded. We all know that. Jesus Christ. Okay. Look, Al from Boston's got a 2-hour live stream. Nope. I mean, is there one person here that I can listen to where I'm not going to want to punch my computer screen? Well, it's not going to be Bam. It's not going to be Bam. Well, let's listen to Professor Mike. And then I guess we're going to need to look at this. What the hell is this? Okay.
Well.
Oh, look at him. He looks like he just got a blowjob. Look at him. He's like, oh, my God. I haven't felt like this in 12 years. What the fuck? What are you so excited about, Mike? $3 fucking pump? Yeah, just wait. Wait till it drops to $3.
Yeah.
God.
So the judge denied it. Denied. Question is, I just read the thing that Tony put.
Fuck me.
In that paperwork, does that mean they can go back and work on the settlement again and come back with a different settlement? Because it sounds like in reading that, she denied it based on the fact that it had APE in with the AMC. So that's curious to me. I don't like to over-celebrate, get too excited. It's great to even see it run, but let's be real, even at $7 or $8, that's not where we want to be. I know a lot of you are in the 30s and 40s. You know, we want to see this.
Oh, it's not?
A real moon, right? I always.
Well, yeah, of course you do. To go to the real moon, not the fake moon in the TV studio that the, you know. By the way, Zero Data, he's a moon conspiracy theorist. We got some conspiracy theorists out here. Oh, man. But we want to go to that real moon, not the one in the TV studio in Studio City. Is it Studio City? Or is it Century City? Or, I don't know, Lynn, where is it? Is it in Hollywood? I'm not sure where, okay? Maybe it's in, maybe it is in Ventura. How do I know? Wherever that fake moon set is, that's not it. We want to go to the real moon, which is way, 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 way up there. So we're going to need money, and we're going to need lots of money. We need lots of money. We're going to get lots of money and go to the moon. Okay, good. This is the best video so far. I haven't been like super pissed yet.
I just want to see it get past
It'll
the
happen.
70 so it picks up every single one of you guys and even makes up for the ape losses. I see apes coming back.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I don't know how that's mathematically possible. Maybe it is, but nobody will show it. I told, who did I tell? The last person or the one before that to, hey, get a whiteboard, draw it out, show me the math. But the only thing that ever happens when they show you the math is that they use a Twitter poll or some brain dead, you know, math using the average and working backwards and say, well, there's 4 million. And then he said on average, we have 100. So that means that there's this many synthetics, but I didn't go to college. I took, you know, algebra 1 in high school. So shut the fuck up about numbers then. Like, seriously. If you don't know how it's possible and you can't even talk through how it's possible, no, yeah, I'd love for it to go to $70 again. How? How would, I mean, when it went to $70 before, there was like, I don't know, 1/3 the number of shares outstanding? I mean, are we forgetting this? Are we forgetting this? Are we forgetting that more shares outstanding makes the stock harder to move the price? The more shares outstanding, the more difficult it is for the price to move to the real moon. So in that sense, why in the fuck are you sitting there giddy like you just got your first BJ talking about we want it to go to 70. Yeah, you have 1.5 billion fucking shares now, bro. It ain't going to happen. But you're not thinking about that, are you? No, of course not. Your head's in the clouds. We're going to get to 70.
He's kind of trickling back up. We'll see what Monday holds. I mean, this is...
Head in the clowns. This is a clown. He's got his head in the clowns with the other clowns.
Now we got all weekend. Go figure, right? All weekend to sit around and wonder and think. But deny.
Or you could just fucking learn and know. Wonder and I mean, you could wonder and think, oh yeah, well, I wonder what would happen. Well, I think this would happen. Or you could learn, yeah, I learned about that, so I know that this is what will happen. There's a difference right there. I don't want to wonder and think. I want to learn and know.
Denied. And some of you made fun of, some of you talked crap about the so-called no voters.
And the no voters, some of you, and I would say some, but it's pretty much all, you are all pieces of shit. Whereas only about 78% of the yes voters are pieces of shit, in my estimation. Does that absolve them of their sins too, Michael? So it's okay for you? I don't know.
And the ones that sent in, 2,850, sent in their objections. Like I said, I'm also proud of some of the people that actually showed up at the court. So
what, the 3 fucking people?
I guess we're all shills. But, if anything, if this helps kick it off, and with that cost to borrow up so high, if they start panicking, maybe some...
Yeah, because the last time the cost to borrow was up this high, supposedly, for an unknown number of shares that were borrowed at that rate, these people have not learned anything. This is a narrative. This is a narrative. Narratives are... narratives are narratives. They're stories. This is story time. Story time with Mike. Where the cost to borrow at 1,000% means that hedge funds are hurting. No, it doesn't. That is a narrative. It's a dumbass narrative.
Shares. Where the hell are they going to get the shares from? Like, how is this even happening? Like,
there's another narrative, part of the narrative. They need the shares. Motherfucker, you have no fucking clue what they need. You have no clue. I mean, I know what you need, and it's not another BJ. You need you need a book. You need a Kindle. You need a laptop for reading. You need a library card. You need some humility, a little bit of motivation. You need to learn some shit. You don't know shit. You don't know. You're bumbling around between, oh, this person said this, and oh, I heard this. That's why I call you Professor Mike. Because You don't know. You're bumbling around between all these idiots. Yet for some reason, you're trying to influence people and quote unquote inform them. In what fucking world is that a good idea? In what fucking world and society do people like this insist on spreading their ignorance worldwide? It truly is amazing. It truly is amazing. And the answer to that question is people like this in our modern society, which is pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Ugh, God.
Where are they finding these shares to even sell them right now this fast?
Where are they finding them? Well, I don't know. I thought they ran out. I thought they were back ordered. I thought Ken Griffin had to print some more. See what I mean? Nothing is finite. Nothing is, what's the word? Nothing is ever, there's no end point here. Where are they finding the shares? Bro, again, you don't understand how the market works if you're asking that. If you're saying they need our shares, where are the shares coming from? There are no shares available, 1,000% cost of vote. If you're saying any of those things, you don't got it. You do not have it. You don't have a grasp. You don't know. You shouldn't be talking about it in public. You shouldn't be trying to get other people to do anything. You shouldn't be trying to convince people of things. Okay? Because that's just not how it works. We're not talking about loaves of bread on a shelf at the grocery store. We're not.
We'll find out. We'll see. I just don't want to over-celebrate yet.
Oh, well. You've already done that in my book. Oh, that was a good face. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Clay Bro. I want to see this. Wealth transfer alert. AMC settlement denied. AMC stock surges 100%. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. Brothers and sisters, God is truly good. God is truly good. He sent us this judge. Chancellor Zern, you are a woman of God. Because you want us to be rich. And we're going to be rich. Let's see what this guy says. Not for 46 minutes, though. He looks confused. He looks quite confused. He looks a bit... Yeah, I'd say he's confused.
Hallelujah. Glory be to God. Glory be.
Oh, boy. Okay.
People come in. I'm fixing some things on the back.
Oh, my.
But I know that Jeffy is going to be believing. I know that all the other believers are going to be thanking God and believing him in advance that the reverse stock will also be taken off. All right. If we got this part of the ruling, meaning that they cannot merge APES.
Okay. I need to do something real quick here on my audio so I can turn my speakers on. Okay.
And AMC together, and we see the stock going up, then what can God do? Is there anything so hard for God? I'm going to ask you again. Is there anything so hard? No. There is not. And I'm telling you, I got to tell you, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. All right. You need to ask God what to do with your money.
Yeah, see, that might work for God. God might know you're not a financial advisor. People might know you're not a financial advisor, but you still shouldn't be doing this, bro. You know, if you're not a financial advisor, then why are you giving financial advice? Why are you talking about this as if you know what you're talking about? I mean, sometimes people say that to me. Well, Scott, you're doing the same thing. No, I'm not. It's not even close to being the same. My message, my entire message is question it. Question it. And I'll help you get started on the path of questioning. You know, it's not hard. In fact, it's kind of easy and it's kind of fun once you get the hang of it. Question it. Demand evidence. Demand proof. I'm sorry, but God is not going to give you the proof that you need. That is a fact. And don't, you know, and this is the kind of guy that would probably sit there and say, well, you know, I prayed on it. I prayed on it for a long time. I sat and I prayed on it. And I asked God, and yada, yada, yada. And then I went and made myself a grilled cheese sandwich. Yes, I did. Because God loves cheese. I love cheese. And that's when I seen it. The face of Jesus. And he was holding an AMC popcorn bag. I fully expect to hear that story. Or, you know, he was crying because, you know, whatever. But that's not valid. I'm sorry, that's not valid. We need something from a book or something like that.
I strongly believe
not the Bible.
These short hedge funds are trapped. They're trapped between a rock and a hard place. And they can't get out. They're trying everything they can to get out. They want to merge two different stocks together. They want a reverse split. They want to issue this and issue that. No. Pay me my money. Whenever we make a mistake as an individual financially, we end up having to pay financially for that mistake. But there are people who say, okay, well, hey, we made a bad bet, they're saying Wall Street bets, all right, but they don't want to pay up. No. I want all my money. ALL, all. So this is a good indicator. Now, remember, when I asked God about this, so I'm going to be honest with y'all, at one point I was going to sell. I was really thinking about selling, but I heard the popular catchphrase. I heard life changing money. Prophetess Deborah, God bless you.
Did you catch that there? He said when he asked God about it. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I knew it. Praise Jesus, I knew it.
God bless you in Jesus' mighty name. All right.
By the way, well, never mind.
I heard life changing money, so I didn't sell. And then, of course, the dreams that I've had concerning AMC, and both dreams seem to indicate to me that this stock
dreams
get up to at least $1,000 per share.
Oh my God!
You ask God what you should do.
Oh my God!
Short hedge fund.
Oh my God!
We did. I mean, it's just common sense. We didn't sell at $70 a share. We didn't sell at $60 a share. 50. And when I say we, I'm saying the general retailer. If you look at the indicators, we're not selling. Okay.
Don't even fucking say OBV. Don't even fucking say it.
As individuals, if we didn't make the decision to say, okay, I'm gonna sell at $70, why would I sell at $4? Why would I sell at $5? No. The DD, the due diligence, the research is.
Oh, I haven't heard DD in a while.
This stock is worth way more than $1,000 per share.
Is this Larry Harge? This looks like Larry Harge. Kind of sounds like could be him too. No thanks. I see what's going on there. That's all right. That's fine. I get it. I don't need all the Jesus talk. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm not going to put you guys through it. No thanks. Save that for Sunday. Whatever. So Maybe we should see what this guy's saying. Thank you.
I just took one of the most wild trades that I've taken in a really long time. So a lot of you guys saw when I shorted American Airlines yesterday.
I already just don't care. You know, I don't care what trade you took. I don't care what trade you took. You know, like, seriously. I mean, don't you get like narcissist vibes like right away from that? Like, you literally started your video out talking about AMC by saying, I literally just took the craziest trade I've ever taken. Well, you're brave and courageous. Nah, I don't think so. I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't care. You guys don't care. He's a clown. Speaking of clowns, come on, Marats, let's go.
Hi, guys. And that breaking news that you didn't want or that you thought you did want, I don't know. It's catch-22 for me. It's a double-edged sword, and I'll tell you why. So APE shares will not convert to AMC shares. The Supreme Court just ruled right now, Friday evening, in the after hours. So you're going to see
the Supreme Court. The fucking Supreme Court. Oh, okay, Marantz. The Supreme Court ruled. God. The Supreme Court ruled. You are a supreme fucking tool. All right.
Price of APE come screaming down. And the unfortunate part is for AMC movie theaters, the company, they needed that conversion because they had a future price agreement with Antura in addition to the conversion. They
whoa, bro. You're saying it wrong. It's Antara.
They were going to be able to raise money after the conversion with the reverse stock split and dilution. They need to raise capital. They're out of money. So knowing that, what the hell do they do from here? Now, for the individuals that are selling APE and buying AMC shares, well, you just might be an idiot. But the idea is that the AMC shares will go up. And I'm telling you, that's the perfect target to short because if you're buying the conversion, why are you buying into a company that has no way of making a profit? But the way they've conditioned the AMC investor is you got to own one of the two. You got to either own APE or AMC or both. You don't have to own any of it. I'm just telling you, it's that bad. It's a terrible investment. But the crazy part for me is AMC is going to have to file for bankruptcy. They're going to have to file. There's nothing to sell. So now they don't have the ability to make money the way they only make money, which is via offerings. What the hell do they do now? All right, well, I'm going to read more into this. I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to pay attention to the price, but shout out to the Discord for getting this one right, which they did, by the way. Jan in the Discord did say this conversion won't go through, and which is really crazy because when you think about it, Alameda had such a small position.
Alameda?
Get mad, I think they only have...
Oh, dude. I don't know what this is sloppier than usual. I'm not even really... No, I shouldn't say that. Confession time. I mean, I got things on the screen here. Okay, look, I'm running... peek into my world. I got a few windows open here. I got the other window open. I got the live streaming thing here. And I got a few things. I'm trying to manage this, while I'm listening to him. And so I'm listening, but he was in the background. Alameda? Huh? Who are we talking about Alameda? What are we talking about the Supreme Court? I mean, this is sloppier than usual for him. Now, I do understand he's driving, which I never really understood the point of that, but that is a little sloppier than usual. I mean, it must be, this sloppiness from excitement, I guess. I don't know.
Like 700.
GameStop had a nice little pathetic little sympathy pump.
A small position, and to get mad, I think they only had like 700 shares, and they went ahead and did this whole petition for this.
800.
Absolutely wild, guys.
Something.
What if they orchestrated this from the start, AMC, Because I always tell you, it's sabotage from within. And Antura as well, they're making 3 times their money. They've been selling the whole way. And now I can guarantee you they're selling today. And now what are people going to do? Buy more AMC shares? Have you seen the fundamentals? Good luck, guys. Crazy.
I mean, okay, but that's a guy that talks about the fundamental. Have you seen the fundamentals? I mean, have you seen the fundamentals of GameStop? Have you seen the fundamentals of GameStop? And here's a fundamental. Let's look at this. This is actually, this is relevant, and it's funny, and it's great. It's a great story. I don't know if people saw this or not, but let's see. I'm going to pull this up here right now. This came out yesterday. Big short trader Danny Moses reveals short position on GameStop stock. The famed trader called Ryan Cohen a quote-unquote bad trader and pointed out the reasons for his bearish thesis on GameStop. Now, in full disclosure, this is an article on The Street. I don't know if everybody knows. The Street was founded, or Jim Cramer is involved in this entity. I'm not going to call it a publication or a news site. It's a blog, I guess. But yeah, this is. I don't know if he's still involved. Jim Cramer had something to do with this. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Bernard Zambonin has been writing FUD articles on both sides of both of these stocks. So he's been writing pro FUD and negative FUD on both AMC and GameStop for 2 years. So this guy, this is a clown. This is absolutely a clown. This guy he sucks. He's not a journalist. He's not, you know, it's fluff. It's mainstream blog, cash, you know, I'm not even going to say grabbing, but it's just, you know, it's a commercial. It's just a commercial article. He shits this stuff out all day, every day about all kinds of shit. Okay. So if it's even really a person, hell, this could be GPT for all anybody knows. And I do have a plagiarism checker that I'm working with right now, like an app that, so I could run it through that. But anyway, that's not worth it. It doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, I hope it is GPT. It's probably more accurate. But fame trade. So, you know, you got to take that with a grain of salt. The author is questionable at best. But assume, you know, that it does the facts that it enumerates here. I mean, because it's using some, you know, sources, tweets. Great, hard-hitting journalism. Famed trader Danny Moses, known for his role in The Big Short, has revealed that he owns put options on GameStop. Okay. I mean, technically speaking, long puts are a long position, but it has the effect of mirroring a short position on the stock. It's technicality. I'm not going to be that guy. But it's just always a pet peeve when shorting and owning put options are conflated, because they're not the same thing. They're similar. They have similar profit loss profiles, but they're not the same. When you say somebody's shorting something, the implication is that their broker is going to go borrow shares and do it that way. You know, people say I'm shorting this, and they're buying put options. Just be, you know, sensitive to that, because there are situations where put options could be more profitable than a short position, and there are certainly situations, a lot of option traders know, where, you know, the put option could be considerably less profitable, like, you know, pound for pound, so to speak. So there's a lot of other variables that go into options other than just the price of the stock. That's the key. There's a time element. There's, there's a volatility element. There's an interest rate element. There's all these things. And then there's a couple second derivatives of those. Anyway, Moses criticized GameStop's financial situation, highlighting its diminishing cash flow and projected yearly losses and questioning the company's $7 billion market cap. Moses said that Ryan Cohen, a major GameStop investor, is a bad trader, pointing to his high-priced stock purchases. Okay? And then we got the big short picture here. He didn't disclose the size of his position. All right, we can watch.
Welcome back to Fast Money. One of the hottest stocks with retail traders over the past few years is also catching one of our traders' eyes, but not in a good way. GameStop is up 25% this year, but down more than 6% since Ryan Cohen was elevated to executive chairman on June 7th. Dan, you've been trading around it right now. You have a small short position.
Put option. Yep.
Put out. Okay, so walk.
I don't want to be taken out, obviously, like some other funds have. But it was the making of the Meme King, your documentary, that really got me thinking about it again. I watched it the other day. But when I think about this name in general, through all the iterations of what we saw during COVID and all the meme stock trading, it is the quintessential meme stock. And Ryan Cohen has a lot of money. Ryan Cohen has an ego. Fine, that's all good. And he puts his money where his mouth is. He said as much. So this last quarter, when the CEO resigned and there was no conference call at all, he went and bought $10 million worth of stock at around $22.50 an average. I would say he's a bad trader because I think he could have bought it much lower, 15, 16, 17. There was also two other board members that bought 5,000 and 10,000 shares, respectively. There's a history.
Okay, so, well, I'm sorry to stop it all the time, but I have thoughts, and I know if I don't say it, I'm going to forget, and I probably already have. So, but anyway, that's different than what was said in the article. Okay, that's a different thing. That something different was expressed here. The article did not capture. I'm going to take it back a little bit here, just again for me, But just listen. I guess listen, and I can scroll up here, but he doesn't even say anything in the article. So, but
through all the iterations of what we saw during COVID and all the meme stock trading, it is the quintessential meme stock. And Ryan Cohen has a lot of money. Ryan Cohen has an ego. Fine, that's all good. And he puts his money where his mouth is. He said as much. So this last quarter, when the CEO resigned and there was no conference call at all, he went and bought $10 million worth of stock at around $22.50 an average. I would say he's a bad trader because I think he could have bought it much lower, 15, 16, 17. There was also two other board members that bought 5,000 and 10,000 shares, respectively. There's a history to this. Back in March of 2022, after a disastrous quarter, he bought what? $10 million worth of stock, right around the same level, split adjusted, so call it $24. So this company has $1.2 billion or so in cash, right? They're not making money. They're probably going to lose money here for the rest of the year. And I don't know a company with a $7 billion market cap that looks like this, other than the faith in Ryan Cohen. And listen, he wants to keep buying stock, great, but it's just not something that I would own at this point.
Well, it's not sustainable. And clearly, you can look at the charts that they showed here, this chart. And yeah, he's doing a great job, pushing the stock up. This is the same chart, and I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like, oh, it's the same bars pattern. Bars pattern. Two words I've never want to really ever hear again together after this episode is over. If this saga is over, the bars pattern. Jesus. The only other thing I think of is like a barcode pattern, but I would never say bars pattern. Bars pattern. Whatever. No, I don't mean it like that. I just mean that it's a classic, impulsive, explosively impulsive type of event, followed by an overhead supply restriction or reverse squeeze. Really, that's what it is. Or one could say, it's It's an explosively impulsive move followed by a slow and painful long liquidation. That's what I would like describe this as. And you know, the overhead supply, like, just, I mean, it sticks out like a freaking sore thumb if you know what you're looking at. But I mean, you all do. Look at, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, oh, this tight little range. Boom. And everybody thinks it should still be up here. Like, we're in a, you know, I say if only we knew that, like, that this explosive volatility and like the you know, this, so this is like 2021 and this is like 2022 kind of, right? But it kind of did foreshadow, you know, some retardation. This was like beginning of 2021. But it could be said that GameStop and these, you know, these meme stocks, like the valuations, the prices, the market price, the market in general for these securities got ahead of itself. I mean, I don't think that would be an understatement, would it? So they got ahead of themselves. So they didn't, you know, this is impulsive. This is like, you know, this is like standing in line at the grocery store and either of these examples, you know, impulsively buying something that's there, that you see, that was unplanned, and it might be more expensive than a pack of gum or something, like the $20 phone accessory or something like that, you know. Not really explosive, but it could be to somebody. Or the person in front or behind you in line who does something, and you end up clocking them, you know, in the jaw. Unexpected. Didn't plan on doing that. It was an explosive thing. It was an impulsive. It was, you know, it was a failure of impulse control. That's not a bad way to think about it with the market. We know that entities had problems. The tech brokerage, the tech front end, I don't even want to call Robinhood and Webull broker dealers, but I guess technically they are, but these are tech companies. These, you know, this is a company that's based in Silicon Valley. Banked with Silicon Valley, probably too. You know, actually, whatever. Whatever. Getting off on tangents here, but these things got ahead of themselves. That market got ahead of itself in general. Maybe it is again. Maybe it did again. I don't know. Maybe it got ahead of, maybe it got behind it. Maybe it got ahead of itself to the downside earlier last year. Who knows? But what I'm getting at here is that you know, you're going along and you have an impulse, and then you have some kind of, you know, equilibration, you have some kind of evening out. And this happens in all kinds of things. It happens in visual phenomena. It happens in audio phenomena. It's a natural thing. Is what I'm saying. So this happens. And when it does, and, you know, obviously there are all kinds of different situations, and anything could happen. But you know, what am I doing here? Generally speaking, these things look like this. They don't necessarily always, or most of the time, you know, have your impulsive move and everything else, and then this, you know, I mean, it does, but this happens over a long period of time. A long period of time, years. You know, not the span of a couple years where you clearly have, you know, an explosion of volume for very concrete reasons, very, very definable reasons. COVID-19 pandemic, government response, over-response, we might say at this point. All the money, stimulus, unemployment, whatever, free money, cheap money, 0% interest rates, you know, those things are not natural necessarily. So it creates this response in the market because it's responding to unnatural and unexpected inputs, i.e., an impulsive event like this. After, you know, as time goes on, hopefully, you know, things equalize and what was extreme has moderated. And it, yes, I'm not saying it's going to go down. I mean, it could. I don't know. It probably will go down further. But you know, it's elevated from where it was. It's elevated. You know, 1,500% from 2019. I mean, 1,500%. The fundamentals right now, I'm sorry, you know, even in an inflationary environment where you know, money is worth less and everything costs more, let's, you know, even just using like 2015, 2014, even just using like, I don't know, 2016, 17, let's say, you know, 200%. I mean, and that's where it is. That's to where it is now. That's to where the price of GameStop is now. If we were talking about, you know, to the all-time high, I mean, you're talking, again, you're talking 1,500%. So I guess it's a little bit more reasonable than 1,500% to from 2019 to now, because they were doing worse, is what that means. This is a company that was struggling a lot when you allow the scaling to really reflect it here, right? I mean, that's not great. Anyway, I forget what this was all about. I don't know. Hokey pokey is maybe. Is AMC squeezing? Oh, Manuel asks a question. The Jesus guy. That's How to Be Healed TV with Christian Diggs. Yes, that is the name of the channel. How to Be Healed TV with Christian Diggs. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah, that was May, and I did see, I thought that there was a video by her or something. Let's see what she says. What say she? Oh. She hasn't even put out any videos lately. Look at that. Wow. Live? Oh, streamed 1 day ago. Well, how are AMC versus Cinemark? That's the, I mean, okay, I appreciate that, but I appreciate that creative video topic, but nobody cares. And look, I know I don't get that many views. That's fine, whatever. It's not about the views. 464 views in 5 days. I don't really see a video like this blowing up at some point. I don't see it. Like, you got videos from 4 months ago, 3 months ago, and such that's have about the same number of views. So aren't they both? They're both movie theaters. Like, movie theaters are old fashioned. They're like, they represent the past. So yeah, tell me how they're different, but I want to hear Tony Franzetti tell me about this settlement. So let's pop in on Tony. Wow.
And then answer a lot of your questions about Zern's
cool
written
guy.
opinion. Let's put up the price action here real quick, and then we'll say some hellos now that extended hours is closed. Which screen do we want? Let's do this one. All right, so as of right now, we had obviously a big run up on Zern's denial of the settlement. We'll get into what all that means in a second.
Big run up.
A run up on AMC, a run down in APE, like I've been telling you guys, depending on how the settlement.
Oh, there it is. Like I've been telling you guys. You had a big run up on AMC and a big run down in APE, like I told you guys. Tony. Dude, all right. Man, all right. Who's actually the dark side here? That's my question. Who is the dark side?
The two tickers were going to run either one way or the other way. So you saw the one way. AMC ran up almost to $9, currently trading at $7.17 as we.
Well, that's shit. That's shitty.
Hours, and APE dropped all the way down to like 67 cents and has since rebounded to $1.54 at the close of extended hours trading. So quite a ride for both stocks. And I know some of y'all probably got some questions like what's going to happen over the weekend? What about my call?
But he knows that also that he should know, wink, that he should know that nobody's going to ask, nobody's going to talk about selling. Nobody's selling. And I believe them in this case because, oh my God, you went from $4 to now trading at 7 something. Congratulations. You were down 78%. Now you're down 76.5% or something. It don't mean shit. So nobody's selling because it doesn't change anything, which is pathetic. That like, okay, yeah, we're talking about, oh, wow, the settlement was denied. And we're in the same boat that we were. But next week's when it'll happen. Give me a break. Look, today was unexpected. Would next week be unexpected? This is what you have to think about. Would it be? Or would everybody be expecting it? Because that's what these people do. They take a narrative, and they latch onto it, and they think that it's going to happen, and it never does. And never mind the ridiculous nature of the actual content of the narrative, the fact that it's a narrative itself is almost, in my mind, if not a guarantee, another fail-safe stopgap thing that is, another reason why it's not going to happen the way that you say it's going to happen, simply because it's a narrative. It's a feeble, fickle narrative that falls apart. Like the finest pulled pork in your mouth. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. And the quote that I'll bring in from Walter Deemer is, If it's obvious, oh no, is it Walter Deemer, or maybe that was, I don't know who said it. I heard Walter Deemer say it. If it's obvious, it's obviously wrong. If it's something that is seen as being obvious, it's a sure thing. Everybody knows this is going to happen. It has to. Then if it's obvious, it's obviously wrong, because the market's not going to let 3.8 million of the world's finest citizens all attain generational wealth at the same time. It just doesn't work like that. Like, there's, and you know, you could think about why it doesn't work like that. And you could think about like, oh, well, but Scott, it could. I mean, you know, with God, all things are possible. And just in general, anything could happen. And I agree, anything could happen. But we're not talking about what could happen. A lot of things could happen. What's likely to happen? That's the relevant thing in the market. It's a probabilities game. Okay? Anything could happen, but most things are not likely to happen. What is likely to happen? Or what is the likelihood of that thing to happen? Based on what we know, based on the available information that's available publicly and otherwise available to market participants. Because that's what is being used. So I'm definitely getting some, if it's obvious, it's obviously wrong vibes from this whole thing in general, not just Tony here. But I'm getting, definitely getting that. And that's been used to manipulate the apes from the beginning of this, okay? That's something people need to understand. These tactics are very, very insidious and intentional. These are intentional things that are being done. And again, I'm not necessarily even saying by Tony here, but just the emotional manipulation. I mean, it's off the charts. I will say that. I'll stand by it. It's see, to me, it's obviously a scam. Does that mean it's obviously wrong? But the point of those types of sayings is it's not really so much what is obvious to one person. It's what's the collective thought is. What is the prevailing sentiment among certain sectors of the market, of participants in the market, of the economy in general? More so than like, okay, well, you could say that if it's obvious, it's obviously wrong, but different things are obvious to each person. So does that mean everything's wrong? That's what I'm saying. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that, the most commonly held, like what everybody thinks, like the apes think that the MOAS is going to happen. And then these fake catalysts pop up, and then hope swells into this, this crazy, insanely huge wave. It's barreling towards, the hedgies that are, going to get swallowed up and churned in the water. And they'll come out like, poor and destitute on the other side. And meanwhile, the apes are, nowhere to be found. They've already, they've left with their money, and they pickpocketed them. That's the narrative. That's the belief. That's what everybody thinks is obviously going to happen at some point. And I'm just saying, well, I'm saying it's not, quite frankly. But because, again, it did happen once. It happened already. That's one thing. It happened. And number two, it happened impulsively. Nobody knew it was going to happen. Nobody was sitting there saying, next week, free beer tomorrow, whatever. Just give it more time, guys. A very small number of people, really, before this thing happened, and I'm not talking about the day and the day after, I'm talking about leading up to this. And even those people, I mean, how in the hell are you going to, you don't know. So in that sense, it's random. Like your number just came up. Okay. That was unexpected. But then it became like, oh, it's obviously going to happen again. And I mean, guess what? Even with GameStop, it never fucking did. So this one's older than AMC. So I think in that sense, it's more irrational to think that GameStop would have another massive squeeze. I think that's probably the most delusional thing that you could believe in the market right now. Maybe with the exception of AI and NVIDIA is going to bring in 11 billion this quarter. It's not that long until we find out. I'm so curious. Also got to keep our eye on the insider sales log on that too, for sure. Because that will point to some funny business. If the CEO is dumping shares, I swear to fucking God, that whole fucking thing was a scam. That will be the most epic. That would be crazy. Anyway, it already happened. It was already, now it's obvious it's going to happen. It ain't going to happen. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it.
All options. What about my put options? I'm getting all sorts of questions from you guys. Man, tough weekend to be holding options because you got to wonder all weekend, are these attorneys going to be getting together and hammering some other alternative settlement out? Is that going to be dropped over the weekend, or are we going to trade continuing on the pattern that we had in extended hours today if they don't drop anything? So I don't know the answer to that, but it's something to be thinking about. As far as just general trading talk, volatility.
Trading talk.
Trading exciting, right? Whether you're holding AMC
volatility
at $4 and had the opportunity.
We got a volatility junkie here, guys. Look out. We got a risk taker. We got a heartbreaker. We got something. We love volatility. Volatility is our friend. It's what we use to make money. Okay. All right. Let's just skim through here. Oh, he's going through he's going through it. Maybe you know what? It's getting late.
As possible on Twitter.
It's getting late. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I don't know if I really feel like reading it all. I don't know. Do I feel like reading it? I don't know. I don't know.
Think that's the case. I don't know. I don't really think that's the case.
No, I don't really think that's the case. I agree, Tony. Different Tony. Tony's in agreement. All right.
Discord.
Let's let him fucking read it.
Tab.
He knows how to read.
So, I'm good with where we're at. Let's talk about where we're at, though. Let's talk about where we're at. Let me switch screens here. So, at the end of the day, the proposed settlement is not approved. Now,
okay. I actually like how he skipped to the end there like that. Went to the conclusion. That's not a bad technique. But anyway, Taiwan semi reported a slowdown. Not good for NVIDIA. Not good. Not good. It is not good for
now I saw
NVIDIA. Which it's like, again, I don't want to say it was obvious, but because it seemed to be obvious to everybody else that it was like, oh my God, this is the thing, this is it. But I don't think it really was. I don't think that was it. I think we're in a pathetic period right now. And this is a pathetic, desperate period of time that we're in. By the way, I'm just talking out of my ass here. It's Friday night, and whatever. I don't know anything. I don't think. Well, I'll just say I don't know anything. I know I don't know anything really. I'm not a professional in any of this shit. You know, I'm 40 years old. That's all I got. You know, I have an undergraduate degree in music, you know, and I've worked in, you know, half a dozen different fields and traded for 6 years or so. So, I'm not an expert, you know, but I like to think that, you know, okay, yeah, a lot of people aren't experts, but can you intelligently try to figure out what would get you closer to being an expert, you know, not waste time on the bullshit, streamline to the things that do matter, like FTDs and you know, cost to borrow and all that stuff. That doesn't matter. Like this is a thing. This is an evaluation that happened in 2021. You know, like, see these things happen. Oh, okay, now they're talking about this. They're talking about this. They're talking about this. Well, I know those things don't matter. They don't matter, you know, before the pandemic. They don't matter after the pandemic. They don't matter. They just don't matter. They're the wrong things to be looking at. So that automatically already pretty much just, it's like, okay, this is bullshit. It's a bullshit narrative, pump and dump. It's a scam, whatever you want to call it. It's not real. It is not real. It's not really happening what you think is happening. And God, it sounds like such a tinfoil thing, but I mean, you know, these things are objective. It's objectively provable. You're able to show with evidence that these things are, you know, are happening in a certain way. Now, I'm not talking about manipulation and all that kind of stuff and whatever, naked short sell. Those things also don't matter. Let's just be clear. The notion of naked short selling is a red herring. It is a distraction. It does not matter. Yes, it's illegal, and oh my God, they're going to go to prison. No, they're not. Nobody's going to fucking prison for naked short selling. No hedgie would ever go to prison for naked short selling AMC. It's just a false narrative. So that gets in that broad category of nonsense. Now you have people that are susceptible to nonsense. Uneducated people, by and large, are more susceptible. You know, I'm painting with broad strokes here, but this is it. You know, this is how I see it. I'm not really here to make people feel good about anything. But I mean, you know, overly religious people, like we've seen an abundance of overly religious grifters come in recently, and that's not a coincidence. We're seeing, you know, the evolution of a cult, essentially. That's what we saw. It was fun at first. It was fun, and people seem to be getting something out of it. Make a little money, you know, make a few friends, have friends on Reddit, whatever, chats, Discord, you know, or creating content or whatever. It started out, it was lighter hearted, it was enjoyable. You could, you know, people made money. People that are watching this stream right now made a lot of money. You're gonna make a lot of money, Tom Vu said. And people did. And I'm not just shorting AMC or going with, you know, a short exposure, like put option. But it changed, as things do. They didn't unfold the obvious way that everybody thought. So, you know, it became clear to us here that, okay, yeah, it was obviously wrong, you know. They thought it was obvious. It was obviously wrong. What's going to happen next? And what's going to happen with this cult as it evolves and gets more desperate because, you know, the other reality that needs to be faced here is, and I got a perfect clip for it, that a lot of people have what we call over-invested. So I thought I had a clip. Where is it? I can't find it. That's odd. Well, Manuel, can you find the okay, I need the price to go up? Can anybody find that? I'm having trouble finding the correct clip of that. Which I don't know if it's because YouTube sucks or it was taken down or what. But I'm getting everything, all kinds of wrong, irrelevant search results. Looking for that. Wow, that was okay. All right. You know what? It must just be that I'm retarded. Okay.
Okay. I need the price to go up. Like very soon. I can't take this anymore. I'm checking price and it is lower every hour. Check price, bad price. I can't take this anymore. I have overinvested by a lot.
There it is right there. I have overinvested by a lot. I've overinvested by a lot.
I need the price to go up already. Can they do something?
And can devs do something would be replaced with can, insert name here. Adam Aaron do something. Can RC do something? Can Tony Franzetti do something?
Articles hitting the tape right away when this written opinion dropped.
Hitting the tape.
The reverse split conversion was not approved.
Thanks, Manny.
Let's just put the kibosh on that. The judge was making a decision on the proposed settlement, the one for 7.5 to AMC holders, and a release of all future claims, a release of AMC to be sued by anybody in the AMC class or the APE class. That's what they were asking for. In consideration of that, they were going to pay one share for every 7.5 to AMC holders. The judge had a problem with that. And we kind of heard this on her last day in the hearing at the end of June. She was asking the attorneys a lot of questions. Well, what about the release for APE? And they kind of hemmed and hawed around and didn't give her a great answer other than the AMC said, look, we want a release from everything. We want to be done with this. And it was left kind of confusing to many of us, right? If you were paying attention. So the judge really drove her to.
But you're not a lawyer. So, you being confused by it, that's so what? Like, I probably would have been confused too. I would try to get, clarification on it from a professional. I don't know. It was an odd thing to say, like an odd way to frame this here. I don't know why he would frame this way. Because now he, this has introduced things to my thinking that I don't believe I should have right now. Like, I just want to know what was said. I don't need this. This is bad.
Decision today based on that one point. And we got 69 pages. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just want to talk about the highlights and then I'll say hi.
Seriously, 69 pages. 69 pages. Are you kidding me? 69 pages, really? Yeah, right there. 69. Oh my god. 69 fucking pages. Now, Lynn's partying with the apes, like buying, Lynn's ordering pizza and partying with the apes. I'm just gonna like sympathize with them here, or channel them or something, and say 69 pages on the settlement. Are you kidding me? Really? Is that a natural 69, or is that a coerced, finessed, massaged 69? I want to know. Who wrote this? I bet if the special master wrote this, that was a massaged 69. That was a cooked 69. I just don't know. I don't know. And see, the apes, they've done this. I've done it to myself, but this is what they say. It's
Hi to you guys, and
I'm becoming a monster.
The very beginning of most of this, the first half, is just Judge or Chancellor Zern recapping everything, the whole history of how we got here. She says on page 2, to cut to the chase, the settlement cannot be approved as submitted. And I don't want you to just gloss over that word, because as Chancery Daily told us many, many weeks ago, the judge was going to either approve or deny the settlement. And if she denied it, then more than likely the next step is the parties need to get together and decide if they want to amend the settlement and resubmit it to the judge. Now, I will say, as you guys know, I'm not an attorney. I don't know. And I asked Chancery Daily to come on and call in and give us her thoughts. I don't know what the process is going to be exactly. If they resubmit, do they just blue line it, the plaintiff and the defendant, and resubmit it to the judge over the weekend? And she gets
blue line it.
Is there a whole new schedule
blue line
they need to set up with the court?
I don't know about that.
Hearings. I don't know that today. I don't. Maybe some of y'all that are legal scholars.
I want to know about the blue sheets. The blue sheets. Whatever happened to the blue sheets? We may have to go to Tony, the other Tony, for that. So we got Tony, the other Tony for blue sheets. We got this Tony for blue lining. It's a lot of blowing, Tonys.
Dollars, maybe you know that. But that is the next step. They either need to.
So in light of what he just said, that knocks a big chunk of these grifters out right now. Doesn't it? They're saying they're doing victory laps around the cafeteria. She denied it. It's not going to happen. AMC is free to go to the moon now. The actual real moon. We won. But what I'm hearing now is, well, there's a distinct possibility that, well, you didn't win. That, okay, what the judge doesn't like, what's not acceptable is the settlement terms, specifically the details, the number of X for X shares, or whatever the terms are. But presumably then, if that kind of implies that there is an acceptable scheme that they could use, right? That would be approved by the judge, and then the apes' worst nightmares would be realized again. Just when they thought that they had won, it actually turns out that nope, actually, not only did I not win, the exact thing I did not want to happen, that I think will ruin the whole thing, that thing is happening. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Sounds like a dick, but You know, that's probably what's going to happen. It seems like. Now, I'm injecting my opinion here a little bit. Why would that not happen? We were talking about this in Telegram earlier. If the company can't raise money by issuing, by reverse split combination and then diluting on that, what are they going to do? Might as well lock the doors now. Well, they're not. That's not going to happen. I mean, it's not the courts. The court isn't there to like run companies out of business. Although that's what they think that hedge funds are there for, which is interesting. It's another area that could be explored. Equally as dumb, but like the goal isn't to try to like get AMC to go out of business. Well, maybe some people believe that it is, but that doesn't mean that there aren't rules. That doesn't mean that there aren't procedures. That doesn't mean that there aren't protections and elements of fairness that have to be adhered to. You can't just do whatever you want. After all, that's what the apes already believe happens. So I don't know. Anyway, but it's not, the choice. So maybe then in that case, I'm trying to think of what an alternative even would be to a reworked settlement term on the reverse split, whatever. So it's not 7.5, it's some other number, 64 to 7 ratio or something. I don't know. Just whatever it ends up being that the judge says, okay, yeah, that is fair, that is acceptable, and hopefully can explain why better than these guys have explained anything here. So that it makes sense. And we can see the difference between what was proposed before and what is now acceptable. I think that would be interesting. Like what is the big deal here? Kind of thing. But what is the alternative to that? What is the alternative to going back to the drawing board and finding something that works? It's that they don't do it at all, which would be, they don't believe this. They don't believe it would be catastrophic or bad, but there's a lot of things that they don't believe or do believe they shouldn't. And this, there's no question that if you can't borrow more money, you've already borrowed, you're already billions of dollars in debt. The only other way that you can raise money is by selling Girl Scout cookies, which is euphemism slang for selling shares, issuing shares, and there's going to be some people that are going to come and buy all the Thin Mints or all the Samoas or whatever, so you're going to have interest. Why they didn't want to do that, I think it deserves another close look too. It makes no sense to me, now that I think about it more and more, that Adam Aron and AMC would be content with just believing that their shareholders didn't support dilution or wouldn't vote yes for it. That's the reason why everything is the way it is now, is because those decisions not to put those votes out for retail investors, shareholders, or shareholder approval at large, that decision was made based on an assumption. It was made based on the assumption that if they did put, this is what was said publicly, who knows actually what the reasons were, but I'm not even going to go there. No reason to. Russell's Teapot. But like, why would you not at least try? Especially because that your institutional ownership percentage is substantially higher than they think it is, than the retail APES shareholders think it is. In other words, there's a lot more institutions holding a lot more shares than the APES thought in 2021. And there may have been a different incentive for a vote there, one way or another. But no, they were told they owned 90%, 80% of the shares, 80% of the float. So that just bolstered their belief in counterfeit, naked short, whatever, synthetic knowledge, synthetic shares, whatever. And the narrative just rolled on. But that was based on an assumption. Adam Aaron assumed something. So maybe, number one, maybe he actually is a silverback. Maybe he's more of an ape than we realize. Number two, like, what the fuck actually was going on, though? Like, it really, I mean, could be something with the Antara. Like, it could be like a back scratching for each other situation. Or reach arounds or something. Like, there were favors that were owed. I don't know. Who knows? I don't want to speculate. Really, I don't. But it just... What is the hang up? Like, especially if it's, like, so important as to like, providing operating capital, cash flow for your corporation. I mean, who cares? It's what corporate companies do. They go into debt. They get money. They have huge cash flows in and out. Like, it's just the way it is. Like, corporate finance is fucking stupid and weird and basically made up. But I just don't know. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that, but I don't get why they wouldn't try to do it. Maybe maybe it would have been approved. And then if it's not approved, Adam Aaron has a much stronger case for anything because, yeah, we put this out for vote and the fucking shareholders wouldn't vote it up. They voted it down. What are we going to do now? You know? And it's all out in the open above board. Like, yeah, okay, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. And then, all right, now, well, shit, we're going to have to get creative. Call in, what's that one guy who's in his 40s? I think he's in marketing. Yeah, call him. He'll have an idea. He knows how to do stuff. He knows how to get people to think a certain way. I don't know. I don't know, but it just seems like it doesn't make sense. And then there's a whole issue of the court and the SEC knowing all of the details about this scheme beforehand. And I mean, I don't know if it's customary for them to, like, if there's something in there that would be illegal or improper, for them to say, whoa, wait a minute here. Now, you just filed this with us, so we were looking through it, and we found something that doesn't seem right. Can you explain this to us? And, you know, if it's not good, if it's not a good detail, then you deal with it before you get to this, before the goddamn thing is, look, this thing has already been issued. It's already been voted to, like, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. I don't, like, so for the benefit of a few more free, worthless shares, like, what, this is justice here? Okay, all right, sure.
To amend the settlement, or one other thing that we were kind of just brainstorming is what.
So to just tie that up there, I think that this whole thing is, I'm not taking it at face value. I don't know how I'm taking it, but there's some bullshit here. There's definitely some bullshit going on. I will stand by that. it's just illogical. I don't know who benefits from this. I don't know how anybody could say that it benefits retail shareholders. But there has to be some way to raise money. The court is going to approve some type of settlement. The terms of it, up in the air. But I would think it's either that or just be like, sorry, your shareholders literally want you not to have any more money. They want you to run out of money. Because that's what you're saying if you support this. Like, I can't be any more clear than that. Like, that's fucked up. Like, you're like an anti-shareholder then. You bought up the floating supply of shares, and then you let the thing die. I mean, what the hell, man? That's not what shareholders are supposed to do. They're not supposed to make the company worse. They're not supposed to euthanize it. Now, maybe they should, but as the way things are set up now, no. Now these people can assassinate. They could probably have the ability to do that.
What if Allegheny just dismisses the suit, just drops the lawsuit? Why would they do that? We'll talk about that in just a second. So let's take a breather.
Well, I don't know, and I don't know what he's going to say, and I would like to find out what he was going to say on that topic. So, because I don't know, like, what is the likelihood of Allegheny County Retirement dropping the lawsuit? They dropped the lawsuit, or I'm sorry, they brought the lawsuit, for those specific reasons. And you had a settlement that was denied because of, some ratios that were off, some details, but the overall concept doesn't seem to have been rejected. So, but of course, they're taking that victory lap, around the toy train table. No, you didn't just win. You think you more likely you think that you won. But pretty soon you are going to know that you lost. That's the best way I could put it. Because it's going to get your hopes up. I mean, it sucks to have your hopes and dreams dashed and blue lined, as he said. If that's what that means. Red lined. I mean, doesn't that mean, right? Red line, crossing it out, red. It's like the poor neighborhoods in inner city that got redlined. Or the segregation that took place. Anyway, the crush is, if that actually happens, we got other negative indicators popping up all over the place. Recessionary fears are growing. I would say they are. It's starting to get talked about again. They're talking, we're starting to see the market moderate, come down a little bit. If it happens more, the bottom could fall out. That would be bad for, most things. I don't know if AMC has that negative beta anymore. I don't think so. I don't think it ever did. But they always said a market crash would bring it about. It's possible. I mean, anything's possible. Is it likely, though? Well, we had a market crash before. We had an October crash, and we didn't get that huge squeeze. So I just don't see how any of this matters to the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation says, all right, we got a lot of assumptions that were used to support these claims. That's a no-no. So we really don't even need to check to see if this stuff's true, but we will. And then we'll know, and we can point to it and say, okay, well, actually, here's the fact of the matter. This whole thing seems like it's part of a narrative. And I can't figure it out. I don't know if we ever will. Maybe there's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just natural. Maybe it's a natural 69-page document, in other words. And these are just coincidences. And, we were not experiencing any type of causal link, etc. And it's just familiarity type bias. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like buy low, sell high strategy is, basically applies. And that's across all aspects. So if somebody's not adhering to that, if somebody's like buying high and then what? Like Ryan Cohen buying GameStop shares at 24 whatever dollars when the price went down after that or whatever. You could have bought them cheaper. I don't know. Let's go a little bit further in this.
A second. Say hello to a few folks, and then we'll get into.
No, we don't need to say hello to a few folks.
And I set my alarm for 3 because I stuff wide open tonight. Yeah. See, theorizing. Did Judge Zern's maid clean out the trash can? Was she hired by Citadel?
Oh, God. See the kind of, it's like, I don't even know what the word is. It's boorish, maybe, crass, like juvenile, spiteful, vengeful, mean-spirited, hateful, judgmental. I mean, all these things, like all of the worst things about like alpha, wannabe alpha, like younger, like, cucky dudes, like all of the shit, like Claybro, like him, like all of the shit that you can't fucking stand about somebody like that. Morant's rants, all these clowns. It's like a gold mine for them.
The lawsuit was based on AMC Common. The proposed settlement gives a benefit to AMC Common, right? The one for 7.5. But the release of all future claims, the release of all ability to sue AMC was on behalf of Common and Ape. And the judge said, you can't do that because you didn't file the lawsuit on behalf of Ape. You don't represent Ape shareholders. You didn't ask to represent Ape shareholders. You're giving no consideration in the settlement to Ape shareholders. Therefore, I cannot approve the settlement.
What? No consideration to Ape shareholders? Ape shareholders are AMC shareholders after the reverse split merger. I think that's what AMC was thinking there. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Does anybody have thoughts on this? I'm sorry, I keep neglecting the chat here, but I don't know. Let's see. This is an ad hominem, but if we look at the type of AMC people, get rich quick, do you think it's reasonable to take one look at them and refuse to invest based on the crowd that is investing too? I mean, it's not so much about what they look like; it's about what they sound like and what their beliefs are. I mean, and that belief, even the fact that belief is even a part of it, you know, I don't even know about the belief. The beliefs are nutty. The beliefs are nutty, but the fact that there are beliefs that inform this, that's bigger part of the problem. Again, it's a narrative. It's narrative. He's reading from the settlements. Okay, you guys are talking about something. Tony needs to spin this BS to keep his channel alive. See what next week. Yep. Have a good night out there. And dump back to 425. Wouldn't that be something? Boy, wouldn't that be something. He has it backwards. Okay, now we're talking about Tony. Here, he has it backwards. With the, it was to benefit this one and benefit that one. Okay, I gotcha. He's reading from the settlement. Fractional shares had same vote as common shares, giving APE more votes. So APE holders could manipulate any vote. That was Zern's first point. Okay. But the thing is, though, because this vote would turn APE shareholders into AMC shareholders. So it would result in the destruction of APE. It would result in APE going away, being converted to AMC. Right? So APE holders could manipulate the vote, but APE holders are AMC holders. Because they were given equal voting rights, and with a successful vote, they literally will be AMC common stockholders. Settlement favored APE. But here's another thing, too. Think about this. Common shareholders, holders of AMC common stock, each one of them received an APE share. So just with the floating supply of AMC and the 1-to-1 APE, you've got 1 billion shares, give or take. Right? 1 billion shares. How many total are there now? So, how does it divide? Well, it's 500 of, 500, and then another billion, right? She was saying, blah, 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 it was set up unfairly to begin with. She can't settle something inherently unfair. So if that's what she's saying, and I'm going to have to read this, not now, but I'm trying to avoid it. But goddamn Tony, I should have known. I did know. I just wanted to see how he was going to spin it. But if that's the case, then you're talking about. I mean, how do you remedy that at this point? If it was inherently unfair, then it cannot exist. It would have to be just canceled. And there's actually, real money has been lost on this. So, I mean, I'm not saying that'll stop anything from happening, but settlement award 1 share to AMC holders per 7.5. That is not fair for APE holders. So I'm confused. I am thoroughly confused now. But so what would be fair? What would be a fair settlement? Or if the reverse split and combination went through with no settlement. So in other words, Allegheny decides to drop the lawsuit, I guess, realizes that it's retarded and that you basically just ruined the company even more. You wasted 2 months and you got nothing. Even if you had gotten your settlement, it wouldn't have changed a fucking thing. Let's be honest. It wouldn't have fucking changed anything. Neither would this unfair advantage for Ape, in my mind. Like, not everything's fucking fair. At some point, you get screwed by the system. Like, that happens. Like, oh my God. It's not going to change the ultimate outcome. Probably. So, in that sense, I don't even know if it makes... I don't even know. Yeah, make it so you have to hold 1 share worth of fractional shares to have one. You mean preferred shares? I mean, we're not talking about like half a share here, right? Like, what do you mean fractional? That's fractional. You mean? I mean, 1 APE unit is 1/100th of a preferred share. Is that what we're talking about? Like that fraction? Like, and again, like, this was all submitted to the SEC and to the Delaware courts. That's the part that really gets me. Like, nobody looked at this. I mean, no, like, AMC's lawyers prepared this. Like, everybody knew about this. Like, I don't know. It's just like, so it really, it took a retirement fund from fucking Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to discover this. And I don't even know if, I don't know. I guess, yeah, she refers to APE as fractional shares. Okay. I mean, I guess it's 1/100th of a preferred share, but I mean, that terminology, that nomenclature of 1 APE being 1/100th of a preferred share, and 1 preferred share being worth 100 common shares of stock, so therefore 1 APE equals 1 AMC common stock. That's the way it was set up. But I don't know how you fix that. Like, that shit was... If it wasn't in the charter, which was, like, these shares were authorized in the charter in 2013. They were never issued, but they were authorized. That's number one. Number two, not only that, you have... you do have... So, yeah, yeah, it is a fraction. Yes, you're right. It is a fraction. But it doesn't have to be. They literally have like what 40 million more. They have 40 million more. 1/100th of a share has one vote, and one common share has one vote. Because AMC said that the APE unit, the fractional unit, the 1/100th unit, was designed to be, and they said this, that's the thing I don't understand about this. It says this clearly in the documents. So if they hadn't been, if nobody had raised this lawsuit, it would have gone through, and that would have been illegal and unfair, and nobody would have ever caught it. Like, I don't buy this. I'm not sure that I buy this. Common shareholders received the APE, though. They received the APE. Why? Why did they receive it? I think that they received it. I think they received it to avoid this right here. Because they were, like, they took equity out of AMC. At the end of the day, I don't know if the fractional shit, I don't know. It seems like a lot of fucking bullshit. After 2 months, whatever. The settlement can't be approved. Well, let me ask you this: in your opinion, could the reverse split conversion go through? Or does the same problem apply? The same problem applies, right? The same problem would apply because it was based on a vote that they're saying was rigged, essentially. They're saying that AMC rigged the vote. And the judge agrees with that. No, they're not. No, they would not be able to go forward with it. Yeah, I'll read it. I'm not going to read it now. I've got too much gobbledygook in my head right now from all this other nonsense. So they would have to fix the APE vote assignment and then vote again? I don't see how any of this really solves the problem, though. Or, I mean, well, it would solve that problem. And it would solve that problem, but it would introduce other problems, like you have a different group of shareholders now, which, always is the case. It's different from day to day, but, I mean, this... I don't know. It's just... really, it's like... Okay. So yeah, I need to take a look at it, but yeah, I know she also said that AMC shareholders are amazing, or something like that. I don't know what was the word. No, shit. AMC has really great shareholders. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the point. I guess my point here is well, actually, it's interesting because the first videos that we watched, complete nonsense, right? And I'm continuing with that. They've all been, but the common theme is, besides nonsense, is nobody really knows. Nobody knows what they're talking about, and that's always been the case here. But it always somehow leads to this morass. But now you have a situation where one faction believes that they have prevailed. They believe that they prevailed. They believe that now the vote is no. That's essential. I mean, these people voted no. They refer to themselves as no voters. They're cultists, but they believe that they've won. That implies that they think that the vote is now no. Right? That it's not going to happen, or that it can't happen. But from what I understand, from what I'm understanding of your understanding, is it seems like it's not that it can't happen. It just needs to. It would, if it happens, it needs to be voted. That decision needs to be arrived at in a way that's equitable to everybody, which is probably possible. And it's probably possible for the vote to be a yes vote, even with it being equitable for everybody. So this is the ultimate irony here. Like, you have one group of people that believes that they've won. We didn't hear much. I mean, everybody on YouTube, though, seems to be pretty much a no person. So that's another thing that needs to be investigated. What are the other people saying? But I mean, if it's obvious, it's obviously wrong. I mean, you have an ignorant base of people that is it's not even that, like, it's not their understanding, because there is none. It is the bias. It is 100% bias. They've equated no with being the better, the no vote is better for whatever reason, because less dilution, but no company operating. So that makes a lot of sense, guys. But yeah, I mean, it is this is not what happens when you work to change things. I think this is a great example of institutional rot, of late stage corporations and bureaucracies that like, this court takes itself so fucking seriously about this. Like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, honestly. And then combined with the fact that this court approved this whole thing initially. And so did the SEC. So that's clownish. If that's the case, that is pathetic. These institutions are a joke. They are, and so is AMC. for real. And so is Allegheny Retirement. I mean, I guess you could say good on them, just like good on those nuns for standing up for, you know, not being able to give their employees birth control. But also, you're just kind of an asshole. You're kind of a dick. You kind of just need to go away. You're kind of irrelevant. You're kind of trying to be relevant, but you're not, and you're not helping anything. You're harming things, actually. Like, those things help people. The stock not being tied up in stupid-ass litigation. That would be better. Like, it is, the more I think about it, it's a fucking, like, dark chapter in this, a darker chapter, because I think the irony and the sort of like double speak and hidden meanings of things are very, like, they don't get it. They don't understand. They don't even understand. They think a reverse split is theft. They don't understand that if a company can't raise capital and they're not making money with revenue, that it doesn't matter because there's not going to be a company anyway. They can't just go on forever. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But they're all excited. They all think that they've won. They're all picking out their Lambos. I mean, it's beyond ironic. It's ironic that this irony is happening again. It's double irony. It's meta irony. It is an ironic situation of irony, if you will. The irony. It's just, yeah. This is, whoever said, I think Ron or Badback said earlier that the writers outdid themselves this season. I mean, that's accurate. Like, this is when, like, I don't know, like the star was like, you know, guest written by Stephen King or something. Actually, that's pretty good. I mean, there's going to be some twists and turns if that's the case, but this is some masterful whatever. And I guess really it's their own doing. But, you know, and again, I say this is all because of people assuming things and then taking that as fact. And then the crucial next step of compounding the assumption. Taking the assumption and using it to support something else. Why not? You did it before. Made this first assumption. Want to be able to make that one. Let's tie them together. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it seems like everything fits. And it does. It seems like they make everything fit together. Like it's meant. Clearly, it has to be this, obviously. You know? But every time they've been wrong about that stuff. So why would this be any different? From that perspective, we just have to bide our time until, you know, the settlement is approved. And that is when the dagger rips through the flesh, as far as I'm concerned. Because they've already been down, they've already picked out 4 Lambos by then. You know, they've already planned, they probably already, you know, spent money that they don't have yet, somehow, on their AMC credit card. Oh, it's okay. You know, AMC's going to moon next week. I can afford it. You know people are doing that. You know they are. That's what I'm interested in. Finding more about. I want to see some irrational spending based on a future belief of short-term belief of generational wealth. I want to see some people making insanely stupid purchases and then promptly watching them get repossessed. And I'd like to see some yes voter reactions. That's what I'd like to see too. So those are the things I'm going to be looking for after I read the thing and read the whole document, 69 pages. And to try to like get inside this thing a little bit more, because it's ironic, it's illogical. I mean, and I thought all of the bullshit with classifying the shareholders and putting them into the groups and having the postcard debate. I mean, it's one thing after a fucking another with this bullshit. It is. It really is. And like none of it is productive. None of it is ever productive. I mean, did you hear the news? They're getting rid of sightlines already. Well, it's an abortion. They were aborting it even before it's born. Sightlines, the increased pricing for the seats in the middle, which is a ridiculous notion that there are better seats like that. Oh, I can't see the 50-yard line. I can't see the tennis net. No, it's I'm sitting at an angle to the screen. Oh no, let me pay $2 more. What a dumb idea. They had to do all this testing to realize that people thought it was fucking stupid. And they did. And so now they're like, well, I guess we're going to have to figure something else out, guys. Like, yeah, good job, AMC. That is an indicator. I mean, AMC should just turn in the keys. You know, just lock the doors on some of these places. I mean, that was your idea. Your idea was to charge people more to sit in the middle. That's it's pathetic, really. It's pathetic. And I mean, I can't think of the only people that would actually buy into that are these people. That's the truth, because they bought into everything else. It's insane. But anyway, we know that. One last check, then I'm out of here. Oh, the Truth Live. The Truth Live. Oh, with these guys. Wow. AB investment. No voters won. MMFAO. You didn't read shite. Oh, so now we got Phil. I am pretending not to be this dumb for real. You know, basically saying, well, you guys are stupid. APE shares are no longer a threat. All right. Lou is going to take us home. Let's take us home, Lou.
All right. Let me just put it out to you like this regarding APE being a threat and a danger. Like, couldn't they create more APE, dump more APE? Okay. It won't have the same effect anymore. See, when this lawsuit started and Vice Chancellor Zern brought us in, heard us speaking, remember where I said I've seen her rule on a past case before. She doesn't like her court being used as a rubber stamp. Well, I had the inclination this was going to go a certain way, which was, you know, I was happy. I was like, let's just wait for AMC to do something. Really, with Judge Zern.
I just say, I like when Lou's happy. He said he was happy. It made him happy. That's good. I like Happy Lou.
I said it. 50% yes, 50% no. Judge Zern can take the summer off. You deserve it. I'm sure you have more pressing matters, so thank you for what you did. I'll say it to you like this, Judge Zern. You actually made a difference in people's lives. That's a beautiful thing, you know. So let me get back.
What? What? What is he talking about? Like, I don't get it. So he thinks that it is. Oh my God.
To as far as AMC can't really do anything at this point. Now, and Tara and other people the whole day, they could dump out there, look, there's more ape available for you to go long against the AMC. That dog won't hunt anymore because now nobody knows if this reverse split will get approved in September, might get approved in November. Remember all the people like up in Citigroup? Remember that I think it was an analyst at Citigroup.
How is that good for AMC? How is that not incredibly detrimental, potentially? How is that not the final nail in the coffin? How is that not, tantamount to 2 tickets to, not to paradise, but to the OTC market? Does anybody believe that it's not a bad thing? That's what I want to know. What? Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna let this play out. I might have a situation over here, but all right. Settlement hearing. Yeah. All right.
They said that they anticipate everything to the reverse split to go ahead, and I was like, how are they getting that information? I mean, I know ways how they do that stuff. I mean, not for nothing. That's one of the reasons why I left the street. But that's besides the point. They didn't know that. They were just putting that out there as a front. It's like a guy that talks shit, puffs up his chest, but at the end of the day, you get close to him, he starts looking on the floor like somebody's shoelaces are untied. That's how it is. What happens is, the end of the day, they were bluffing. They knew that at the end of the day, APE does not have the effect anymore of AMC. APE only had it because of the voting rights to convert. They can't convert. Vice Chancellor Zern stopped them. Well, delayed them. Probably a couple of months, probably several months. There's no way of knowing this. Probably could delay them until 2024 for all we know. Because remember, November and December are not months where courts are fully operational. So all you got is August, September, and October. Because once November comes, they got other cases. Let me tell you something. Let's just say the next settlement offer they put in, she goes, no, that's not good enough. Bam, 2024. There you go. APE doesn't have the power anymore. APE had the power when the voting rights could have converted over, but this court case stopped it. Vice Chancellor Zern stopped this. So, that being said, I don't fear.
Yeah, but what was the whole point of doing it? What was the whole point of even having this whole fucking thing in the first place? It's because you guys were a bunch of shitheads, supposedly, and are not allowing the company to do what it needs to do in order to survive. And Lou and that these people think that they themselves, have prevailed at stopping this evil corporation from thwarting their will, when at the end of the day, as far as I can tell, their will was for the company to go out of business, to go bankrupt, to not be able to raise money. That's the ultimate irony. That's what I cannot wrap my head around. It has to be that there is some aspect that I am missing here with that, because that is how can you view that as a good thing? You're talking about months. AMC is not going to make it months and months and months and months and months. So what is the point? It's petulant. It is childish. It's short-sighted. It's a good word for it. Short-sighted. It's short-sighted. It's not helpful. It's not good for this situation. How is this bullish? It's not bullish. And I think if it were actually bullish, you wouldn't have seen it do what it did today. I think the fact that you saw it do what it did today is a sign that it's not bullish, actually. Like, this is part of the bear flag, essentially, what I'm kind of suggesting. This is, this is not people buying the stock because they think it's a good investment or anything like that. I don't think it is, because I certainly don't think it's a good investment. What a shit show. This is a fucking shit show. I never thought that this would be how this would die. This fucking thing would die like this. And maybe it won't, but these cocksuckers, all cocksuckers, every one of them, every last one. This clown, the grifters, Adam Aaron, the court, I don't care who the fuck it is. These are a bunch of sleazeballs from top to fucking bottom. All right, take it home.
Any apes? I don't. I'll be talking about, people who hold apes. What are my thoughts on ape? What is my plan for apes and stuff like that? Like I said, but right now we just have to deal with what we got in front of us. We got the AMC squeeze potential, because what they used to stop it right before the creation of ape, right now, ape was pushed to the side. I want to just say something. I'll say it in another video because they get too tied together. The main thing is that ape does not pose a threat to AMC at this point, because at this point, there is no reverse split happening now. They will happen in the future. It ain't happening now. Do you understand? That's just how it goes. Okay? So just wanted to tell you, ape is no longer a threat to AMC.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Wrench Capital. As you most likely know by now, Judge Zern today rejected the settlement. She said, nope, APE is not getting converted into AMC common stock, at least not this way. That sent AMC stock kind of to the moon, basically doubling within a few minutes. APE fell off a cliff immediately, but the way things settled highly interest me. It's time to talk about this. Okay, let's take, first of all, a look at the actual report, get the boring stuff out of the way, and then I want to share something a little exciting with you that I did a painstaking amount of research trying to ensure was correct. All right, this is the report from today. It was released today. And if we go down to page 4, really all we need is this right here. To cut to the chase, the settlement cannot be approved as submitted. Now, this is many, many pages long, and it goes on to explain why. Basically, if you take a look over here, Judge Zern said, fundamentally, in voting and value, what is bad for the common is good for the ape. Awarding more shares to common stockholders necessarily comes at the expense of preferred units. So she's saying this can happen potentially, not this way. Now, AMC as a company is not happy about this. They're basically saying that if we want AMC, us now investors, if we want AMC to stick around, this needs to happen. They need to raise money. They are burning cash at a substantial rate, a rate that they won't be able to maintain for too long. And I'm listening to this, or more so reading this, and I'm like, this isn't okay in my opinion. They are now almost, I don't want to take what they said out of context, but it's almost like they're threatening shareholders. Like, they are so spiteful toward the situation they now find themselves in, having to deal with this suit and all that, that they're almost threatening. They're like, listen, this has to happen or your investment's going to zero, or we're going bankrupt. So either do it or don't, or sell the stock. It's starting to get a little weird. And then it's
starting to get a little weird. Did he just say that? He said that. He said it's starting to get a little weird. He was describing AMC. Motherfucker, what were you guys doing last year? What were you doing in 2021? Wow. What a grifter fuck. Holy shit. Man, this guy is a manipulative little fucking snake. What a cocksucker. Wow.
Worth
Holy shit.
Like,
insidious fucking asshole.
Company, you wouldn't have made it the last 2 years without these people in the first place. I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way when I was reading what AMC said about their frustration with this lawsuit, with this not going through, with...
Yeah? Wouldn't have made it the last 2 years without these people? Why? Not because they traded your shares. It's because they bought shares when you issued them. And now you don't want to do that. So, wow, what? The only reason they can say AMC would not be around is because when they issued shares, they were purchased. Other than that, day-to-day trading of AMC has nothing to do with the company, has nothing to do with their financial health. They don't get that money. So, that means that it was a good thing, actually, for you to, for AMC to issue shares. You follow me? He just made the opposite argument of what he thought he did. Motherfuck. This guy's a fucking tool.
How long it's taken to get approval to convert APE into AMC common stock.
Either that or I'm just like super tired.
All I can say is like, look,
God damn.
You bought an extra 2 years by this happening to you. There was no reason now to become argumentative, frustrated, and almost threatening. He rubbed me the wrong way. With that aside, let's move on from the boring stuff and take a look at the chart, and I'll tell you what I'm excited about. So this is AMC stock. After hours here.
How about no? Rubbed you the wrong way, did it? Rubbed you the wrong way. Literally everything about this fucking clown rubs me the wrong way. And I've been fucking... I've in 2021, this guy was really, really, really bad. And, I laid into him quite a bit. Didn't matter, of course, but I mean, give me a fucking break. Like, what the fuck? I mean, that is bizarre. It rubbed me the wrong way. Oh, they're getting mad. They're getting mad. Oh my God. Imagine paying this guy every month for his fucking trading alerts. Wow. I mean, I bet he's got so many people in there that get the alerts and they probably still lose money and they don't make money. And this clown probably sweet talks him out, like reasons why it's not his fault. I mean, I could just see that. Like, because those following those trades, it's it's not a great way to trade. It just not, it doesn't work. It's you're reacting too much. You're too slow. So, like, I am just skeptical of anybody who, puts out those type of programs. It's like, monkey see, monkey do. Like, okay, I see what you got here. That's literally all you're doing. You're not really even teaching anything. You're just, okay, I'm doing this. And then you hope that you do the same thing correctly at the same time. Because if not, you're not going to have the same results as he does. A few seconds, a few minutes. It'll change everything. So it's not very well thought out. It's not very, it can make it look like it's lucrative. But at the end of the day, clearly he makes more money on the subscriptions and memberships and subscribers and YouTube than he does with trading. No question. No question he does. So, I mean, it's just like, how can you respect that? How in the fuck can you respect that? All right. Well, boy, he is like, seriously, I can't stand that guy, man. Holy fuck. Who the fuck is this? I'm looking, I just want like one last quicker video. Okay, fine. Bam. We're going to end with bam. And I mean it this time. As soon as this video is done, that's it. Pulling the plug. So I'm going to say my goodbyes now. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me bitch about this shit. Brain dead fucking narratives. Brain dead narrative from Boss Blunts. Lawsuit settlement denied. Woot. Yeah. AMC running was up 90%. Was. What happened, boss? So Bam's gonna take us home. Bam. Right in your butt. Bam. Have a good one. See you guys.
Hey, this is Jim. It's 3 p.m. in San Francisco, California on July the 21st. Please note that all discussions, analysis, and information presented are for general informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or any other form of professional advice. So this worked out really well. If you're on Twitter, I posted this fractal yesterday. Now, this is going to be the 24-hour that you're seeing here. The original cash market fractal, this white speed line is the speed line. The blue is the 24-hour model speed line. But this basically was the fractal. We had this little drop out right here in re-entry, and now we had this melt up after hours attack of the speed line. Feels like old times again. And this is what I was telling you guys as far as velocity not being similar to May, June of 2021. This is a big fractal, obviously, in its own little world, and this is a dynamic, spectacular move. I mean, this is 10 minutes. It took 10, 15 minutes to move from $4.40 up to $8.80. So dynamic move and beautiful tracking, obviously. This, but the velocity is just not what it was back then. So here's what I think can happen here. We've got this speed line in the 24-hour model up at the $9-10 mark. We've got the Nimoy monthly trigger up at 1188. So I do think we can move up to 1188. Into it could happen later this afternoon. It could happen pre-market on Monday, or early next week. But I do think we'll move up to that Nimoy monthly trigger. Now, if we move up to that trigger and blast through it, everything applies that I've talked about in the past, meaning that Nimoy just does not show the proper upside velocity yet to have follow through to any crazy numbers. We could spike to 21 easily enough. But then in the Nimoy, at least, the price would want to slam back down toward this 1188 monthly trigger and sort of regroup, rest a little bit, and then set up to do a really impressive move over the coming months. So that's it. Really short video from my side. I'll update some other things down the road, but this is obviously going to show explosive volume. Matter of fact, I'll give you guys a quick look at what this 5-minute volume looks like, and then we'll wrap this up. It's going to be explosive, obviously. I haven't even taken a look yet, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's see. This is a...
He said, obviously, it's going to be explosive. So look for anemic. Is that a coincidence? Nimoy. That's the name of his thing. Look for anemic volume next week. It's going to be pathetic. Pathetoy. I mean, that's what I'm going to call mine. What a clown.
This is a 6 million share 5-minute bar. And then you can see how consistently it's running up into the 3-4 million share mark per 5-minute bar. Let's look at the 60-minute real quick. Yeah, so 32 million, something like that, and following it up right now with another big bar. So anyway, that's what we've got, you guys. Everything's looking good from my side. I'll wrap this up, get this video out, and then maybe follow up this weekend. Good luck.